Welcome into the Fanspeak Network. I am your host, the TD King. This week on Lineup Legends, we have the man, the myth, the legend. You know him, you love him, Mr. Steve Shoup. Steve, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good, Andrew. Always enjoy being on here, talking ball, doing drafts with you. And we have some new contests, and of course, both of our favorites, Badge Bros Brawl, still out there. So I think we're both excited.
Yes, Badge Bros Brawl still out there, completely different than last year. It's funny, I was talking to Wiles over the weekend and was just saying, like, hey, how many Badge Bros Brawl do you have in? How you liking the contest? Like, what are you doing on Underdog right now? And yeah, that just came up about how quick BBB went last year, and now it's hanging
Mm-hmm.
around, and it kind of makes it different. Last year, with the contest, it went by so quickly that I think the teams kind of all went similar. It was the first
Yeah,
year they were doing it. How many people truly took like odd teams, like guys who weren't being drafted a lot? This year, since it's open more, I think people are thinking about that stuff more. Like, hey, who probably isn't going to be drafted a whole lot in this, but could hold some contingency value, and guys are taking that. I saw today somebody took Anthony Richardson in a BBB. I'm not sure I'm going that far. And then I go over and flip over to some NFL training camp news over on Twitter. It's the first thing I see. It pops up on Sleeper. Why is Anthony Richardson kind of destroying training camp right now? Watching the video, so then it got me thinking, like, okay, is it crazy to take some of these guys that really have probably no business actually being drafted in the Badge Bros Brawl that go super late in like BBM, or or is that person who's drafting that, are they thinking outside the box and like, hey, maybe the Anthony Richardson is the person you need? So what's your take on BBB sticking around and how you think it kind of affects who you should be drafting in these?
well, I think the other thing is, yeah, we can actually react to some camp news and camp injuries. A guy like Justin Fields, my first like 6 Badge Bros teams, I think he was on 4 of them. But he's banged up, and I don't know if I've taken him since that news. And even some other guys like a Darnell Mooney, or of course, with like the Joe Mixon thing. I took Joe Mixon in a Badge Bros Brawl I did yesterday, the day before, in the 18th round, because he's now fallen to that point. And maybe that's still a risk, but as my 6th running back, to get Joe Mixon in the 18th round makes it a very unique build. So I do think we can take advantage of some of these things. I do think they're risky moves, whether it's Anthony Richardson, Justin Fields. There's some risk, but at least we can tolerate it if we build correctly. But I do think it's interesting to try and be unique, try and be different, because these teams are going to be relatively similar unless you do one or two things differently.
Yeah, so then let me ask you the question. Would you draft Anthony Richardson in the Badge Bros Brawl?
I don't know. I mean, if I was doing like 150, sure. I'm probably going to get up to around 50 of them. So maybe I'll take him in like 1. But I do think there's a lot of risk there, just because even if he starts the season, there's no guarantee he finishes it. So given that we don't have to take him, like there's so many other quarterback options who maybe don't have his highest upside, but have much better like consistency. And, what's the difference between Anthony Richardson and, guys like mid-tier guys like Drake May, Dak Prescott? I mean, these guys have been top 5 quarterbacks before, something Anthony Richardson's never been. So I'm just going to continue to hammer those guys overall.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of got me thinking about, like, should I really maybe be going and taking some, no, like, and I know last time we were drafting, it was brought up in the chat that some people were taking DJ Giddens, Taj Brooks, which I also have taken those guys, because I think that's where I want to be different, is like some of those
Yeah.
guys. I don't know if I want to go that different and draft Anthony Richardson or draft some of those guys that are being late, but I will take a shot on some of these backup running backs. Woody Marks probably. I might grab him once or twice as well. Who knows? But that's, to me, where I think the
Yeah.
difference matters, is getting a wide receiver or a running back, something like that, where it's very low owned but could be very valuable to you. quarterback doesn't feel like the way to me that you need to really get unique here.
Yeah, because Richardson, even if he has he had like 2 games last year of 28 or more points, that's great. But that doesn't change your ultimate point. There's so many combos you could have had that it wouldn't have changed your point total at all, particularly in this kind of contest when only 6 teams are drafting quarterbacks. I think the other area to get different is tight end. The guys drafted kind of in the 14th through 16th rounds in regular drafts, guys like Brenton Strange, Mike Gesicki, Zach Ertz, our guy. That's a great way. Those guys could finish as top 10 tight ends, which means they absolutely should be drafted in batch Bros Brawls, and they are going to be nowhere near 100% owned.
Yep. And you mentioned him. That is one guy I have drafted, Zach Ertz, in the Bad Bros Brawl. Because of that, I do believe that he can be a top 12 tight end still, and that's where you should be drafting him in those. So yeah, I've already done that. Kind of been thinking ahead a little bit about Mr. Zach Ertz. Got to keep that exposure up. I mean, I'm down to like 40% now, so got to make sure I keep up there on Zach Ertz.
Yeah, what's going to be higher, your Ertz exposure or Meg Scatterboo exposure?
Oh, I mean, oh man, that's tough. I feel like it's still Ertz because Scatterboo goes earlier, so I know people want to get him, and now with the camp buzz too, which I mean, he's on the rocket ship right now, just soaring with all these camp videos coming out. Like Ertz, he's older. There's not going to be a ton of hype videos coming up about Zach Ertz, so I feel like my Ertz exposure might be able to maintain that level of highness there. I mean, but speaking of Scatterboo, I mean, you guys are the are the platform for Cam right now, right? Like it's just you guys are putting him up here. Everyone's seeing it. So talk a little bit just about your boy, what he's been doing in camp. Like, what do you think it affects? Is there things that you've seen so far from these videos that you're like, I expected that, but I didn't know that this early in camp we would be seeing it?
So what I'd say is one thing I got to say about his camp videos, look, there's great camp videos out there of just about every player, every team. And yeah, they're fun. But the interesting thing about Scatterboo is not necessarily looking at the end result of the run, because sure, he might have gotten hit 10 yards down the field or, when it was full contact, but it's seeing that short area quickness, the short area stutter step where he's making people miss in the hole. That's what he did in college. Also his route running and catching ability, that is, despite him being one of the highest receiving backs in college football this past year, it was very undersold, or people just don't give him credit for it. He probably is a better receiving back than Tracy, and Tracy has a background as a wide receiver. So he's going to contribute in value anywhere he needs to. So I just think what we're seeing is kind of what I've expected and what Meg's expected, is he can be your short yardage hammer. He can make explosive plays, and he can catch the ball. So will Tracy have a role? Sure. They'll figure it out how it gets divvied up, but I just think there's enough fantasy potential there. And that's why he should be continuing to go where he's going, and if not a little higher.
Okay. All right. Before we get into a draft, first off, I do want to check in with the chat, and then I'm going to ask you some for real or Fugazi questions, okay, about training camp. So first off, obviously, we want to check in with Mike Raub. I think he's talking about the picture of you on the background. He says, Steve Picture tells me he has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that would fit perfectly for my growing family. That's so funny. Putt Daddy 78 checking in. What up? How we doing? Lol Simo checking in. It says Steve has been happy as hell since all these contests started dropping again. Disbanded Brotherhood, obviously in here with the thing that you want your girlfriend to get every month. Kick 7555 says, how's it going? Meg, of course, checking in with her brother and I. On real time says quarterback matter. They do matter. Just some of them not as much as others. And Mike Rob says, who scores more this year, Keenan Allen or Joe Mixon?
I'm for my exposures, I'm hoping Joe Mixon, but
yeah, that's a hit right there. That sucks.
Yeah. What I will say is right now there's not a lot of competition on the team. Like the comments about Nick Chubb from D'Amico Ryans were not great.
To sum it up, if nobody saw the comments, it's pretty much father time comes for us all. Yeah. That is kind of what he said without saying it. It was pretty much like Yeah, Nick Chubb he's had a great run, man. He's been awesome. It's
Yeah,
always
but
like he's
don't expect
been.
that again. Yeah,
Yeah, it's never a he is. It's always a he's been.
yeah,
Yeah, Father Time creeping up on Mr. Nick Chubb. But I mean, you're right. With Joe Mixon, it's those two guys, and then Damian Pierce, who hasn't been on the field yet.
yeah, and Woody Mark. So it's like if
I,
Mixon say needs to miss the first month, my point is he could come back and just take the job back over. But yeah, we don't. We need clarity here.
Yeah, I do think Woody Marks is interesting. Again, they traded a third round pick next year to move up and take Woody Marks in this year's draft. I think that the capital speaks a little to that. Woody Marks was talented in college, and I actually took some of him in the big board, and I've taken some of him as well in BBM before any of this had happened, just because of what the depth chart kind of looked like behind Mixon before obviously
Yeah.
Chubb got there. But obviously the Chubb thing kind of seems like he's a filler. He's maybe a touchdown guy for us, whatever the case may be. And if Joe Mixon really does miss a bunch of time, Woody Marks might be that guy that gets the between the 20s work a majority of the time. And if that's the case, Woody Marks, like right now, kind of going as a steal, if that's the case. So
Yeah.
if you want to kind of buy into that a little bit, I would go get some Woody Marks now before you start seeing him creep up into the 13th round, like our boy Ja'Cory, across the Merritt there. I mean, again, another camp story right there.
Oh yeah, but that just back to Woody Marks. My personal, I was low on him coming out because he's a good receiving back, but he goes down on first contact all the time and doesn't have, to me, like great vision. So I just find it tough. Like he's going to come into an NFL team and hit the ground running, literally. So I will take him a little bit in the 18th round, but to me, it's a very scary path, just because I think he was kind of overdrafted. But as for our guy, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, yeah, I mean, some of it was, I know Austin Eckler had a day off, a veteran's day off. So he got more opportunities with the ones, but all the camp buzz is he runs tough, runs hard. Coaches love him, players love him. So a lot of energy. Yeah.
And it's funny that we're now talking about this guy because, Steve, I don't know if you remember a month ago, we were talking a little bit about taking him in the final round of your drafts, just because we're close, Washington close to the vest for us. We're boots on the ground, ears on the ground. Okay. There was buzz immediately when he was drafted about like, all right, you got Raub, which did not play favors into the coaching staff at the end of the year. You got Austin Eckler, who is not as young as he used to be. Then you got a whole lot of behind that.
Yeah.
They went and drafted this guy. We talked about it, and Mike Raub pointed it out to me last time that we don't take enough time to kind of give ourselves a pat on the back on some of these takes. I do want to let everyone know, if you want to go back, there was a draft where Steve and I and Wiles were on, and Steve and I took Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in the final round, and we started talking him up, just saying like, keep your eyes on this guy. He's probably going to pop his head up at some point during the season, runs hard, and they don't really have a guy that they truly love there in Washington. So kudos to us. I know we don't like to bring that into the light, but kudos to us for telling the people about a little JCM there, and maybe taking him at the end of round 18, because right now, again, I've seen him go in the 13th round. That's as high as I've seen him go, but he's going now sometimes in the 15, 16, 17, like consistently. So just saying, you could have got some 18th round value a little bit ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, I think he should still remain in the 18th round. I'm not going to take him really higher right now, but I do think the position's a bit more open. I mean, I've started to take some more Brian Robinson myself, but right now, the only one I feel confident about is Eckler in that backfield, because I don't think his role changes regardless. But I could see JCM, cut into Robinson's work.
Yeah, it does appear to be that way. Especially, it kind of like really seems like they like to use him in the 2-minute drill kind of ordeal. With a mobile quarterback that is smart enough to know that you don't have to get the home run all the time. He can either run it or dump it down. I do feel like JCM has some ability to provide value within the offense, and for fantasy purposes as well, because Washington played some close games last year, and that 2-minute drill is very important to them. So if he can make his way, and a lot of people are like, is he going to make the 53? He's going to make the 53, and it's not because of what he's going to do as a running back. It's because of what he's going to do as a punt return or a returner in general. I know that they're considering using him there. When you have a running back that can also do that, that kind of solidifies a spot on an NFL team when you're doing more than one thing. So I'm telling you, he's making that 53, and I'm going to start taking him a little bit more, just based off the news.
Yeah, no, and I think right now I take a lot of rookies in the 18th round. Whether it's like Taj Brooks, who's going to start probably moving up with Zach Moss getting cut, Brashard Smith, he's got good camp buzz. Still Monangai slightly, Giddens if he falls sometimes there. So I think he's in that mix where he should be in that consideration for end of the 17th, early 18th round.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so we'll stop flexing on him now, even though Mike Raub says we need to. Someone does have a question here. Putt Daddy says, without any correlation or stacking consideration, what tight end would you take? First one that comes to my mind, just because I think he's an absolute stud, even though I would love to see his opportunities go up a little bit more, is George Kittle. Love George Kittle, and I know that's probably an easy one. So let's take that off the board. Let's say after the first 12 tight ends. So that's going to start Dalton Kincaid and go down. So we got Kincaid, Goddard, Ferguson, Likely, Pitts, Strange. Anybody down the board that you don't mind taking without any correlation, stacking, anything like that?
I'll give two. I think Jake Ferguson, he's healthy again. Dak's healthy again. He just got the bag. And then Mike Gesicki, probably the third option in the Bengals passing offense, whether it's part of a stack or Cardinals bring back or anything, or just in general. He had essentially the exact same catches and yards as Zach Ertz last year. Ertz had 7 touchdowns, was top 10 tight end. Gesicki had 2, finished tight end 17. Given the fact that the Bengals threw 40-plus touchdowns last year, and they're very likely to be one of the touchdown leaders again this year, he could easily just get 7, 8, 9 touchdowns. And I think he's going to play more. Eric All is out for the season. When Eric All went down last year, Gesicki's numbers, snaps, routes, targets all spiked. And that was including most games with Higgins back. So I just think Gesicki has the highest upside for a low tight end, because he could just end up being third on team targets, like 100-plus targets, 600 to 700 yards, maybe more, and 10 touchdowns wouldn't shock me. I mean, if they throw 40-plus touchdowns, he could get 10 touchdowns easy. Yoshivas got 6 last year or whatever.
Yeah, and I like both those two. First, I like Jake Ferguson regardless, just because of what he was one of the, when he was 2 years ago, he was one of the top 3 tight ends for targets in the red zone. So I don't think that that's changing too much. I know they have Pickens now, but the running game is like, what are we going to do there, right? Like, so I think Ferguson, his opportunity for touchdowns is pretty high. But I really like Gesicki, not for the fact of what I think he can do when everyone's healthy, but for the fact of what I think he would do if Higgins or Chase, one of them, went down. Gesicki, I mean, you're pointing out the obvious for Gesicki, but man, his contingency, when I look at the guys down around him, other than like Ertz, it's if a main guy goes down in that offense, the contingency value on Gesicki is very high. I mean, like Jonnu Smith, I don't really think if somebody goes down, his opportunity goes way up like Gesicki's does. Same thing with like Hunter Henry. Somebody goes down, I don't think he, bursts through the orbit like Gesicki could. Like, he's a guy that kind of stands alone down there on what the opportunity could be if a top dog goes down for opportunities. So I like that call a lot too. I hope that helps, Putt Daddy. And as always, I don't need to say it again, but Zach Ertz. Just draft Zach Ertz.
Looks like he clarified a little bit. I just saw in the comments. So.
Oh, he said, sorry, it got cut off. Without any correlation or stack consideration, what item would you take between Kraft, Njoku, or Warren? They are all around the same ADP. Oh, man, that's so tough. True. I want to say motherfucking Mackey award-winning Tyler Warren. Shout out Penn State. I'm a homer. I'll admit it. Love Tyler Warren, but he For me, it's Warren probably, or Njoku. Warren, though, stands out to me because of what I think they are going to do with him in the offense. And Njoku isn't taking a whole lot of fullback snaps, right? Like Kraft isn't. It's the upside of Warren, and I'll take that. And we've seen it now year over year where the Mackey Award winner comes into the NFL right away and performs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Warren take, and he'd be my number 2. I will say Kraft because he has clearly the best quarterback. It's Joe Flacco and company for Njoku. Whether it's Richardson or Jones or both for Warren, that's not good. In fact, Richardson probably takes opportunities away from Warren, the short yardage ones that you're talking about. So Kraft is the guy who's tied with the best quarterback. They were one of the league's lowest in pass attempts last year, but I think that won't be the case this year. I think they'll get back to what they were 2 years ago, would be my guess. And Kraft is excellent, after the catch.
Yeah, it looks like people are obviously agreeing with you and not me. That makes sense. You are smart. I am just hosting, so that makes sense. And Mike Robb says, if you have been using the great Fanspeak rankings, you would also be heavy on Gesicki from the start. Shameless plug. Fanspeak Best Ball subscription live for you guys, $34.99 for the entire year. That is not the week. That is not the month. That is the entire year. Gets all the articles, the rankings from Steve and Meg on there. You will not be disappointed. I mean, $34.99. You spend more on coffee in a month. Do the math. If you don't believe me, go look. Yeah, it's well worth it for everyone. Non-biased opinion, of course. So go check it out. $34.99. If you hate it, you can tell us, and we'll tell you sorry. But you're going to be making money, so you won't hate it after the fact. Okay, so we will get into some more training camp news, but why don't we get into a draft?
Sounds good.
For anybody that wants to draft with us, we were going to be doing a Badge Bros Brawl, yes?
Yeah, that's what I think we'll start with, yeah.
Cool, let's do that. So Badge Bros Brawl, if you guys haven't done this already, it is 6 people drafts. You can create super teams. You should get semi-unique on some of these. But it is a ton of fun. I love this contest. It goes by very quickly as well because 6 people, so half the drafters as normal. And if everyone is ready, we will go in. I will count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And draft starts soon. We got in absolutely immediately. Let me share my screen for the good people. And while we're in here, I do want to talk just real quick about some camp news as well. All right, so it is up on the board there for you guys. Let me get the active ready here. Where are we at? Badge Bros Brawl. As you can see, I'm still in slow hell over here. Just slows and slows and slows. I hate myself for doing it, but I love it so much. I won't lie. All right.
I got to ask, how many slows are you in?
I think currently like 17. That's a lot for me, Steve. I know you're like rookie numbers. Pump that up.
That's like add a 0 for me.
Oh, Steve, it like when I wake up sometimes I got like 5 and I'm like, oh my God, I got 5. I'm sure when you wake up, you got like 50 and you're like, all right, well, gotta get a coffee and set up my job here so I can do all these drafts. That is just wild to me. I couldn't do that.
I'm up on 50 plus right now.
Oh my God. Sweet Jesus. All right. So quick, for real or faux Ghazi. All right. Cam Ward, they're saying maybe 35 touchdowns this year. For real or for Ghazi?
I'll say Fugazi for the 35 touchdowns. 25, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So 25, maybe. Okay. 35 out of the realm possibility. I just saw that number floated around at 12-1 right now on betting odds. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the no on that, dog. All right. We are up. JJ, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Puka.
Let's go, Lamb.
Little Lamb in our lives here. I like it. All right. Next up, Deontay Thornton. Running with the ones. Absolute freaking nature. Athletics. We can draft him generally in the, 16, 17, 8. Oh, shit. We're up real quick. CMC, Neighbors, Collins, Amon-Ra.
Let's go CMC. Let's start even start.
Okay. I like it. So Deontay Thornton, do you believe, is it for real or Fugazi that we can be taking him and feel like we can get, let's put the number at 3 spike weeks?
If you said 2, I can believe 2. 3, I think is a little much. And that's my issue with taking him. He's going now in the 15th round sometimes. If he was like a 17th, 18th rounder, I'm fine taking shots on him. There's a lot of guys down there that in that range. So I'm going to say slight Fugazi.
Okay. All right. They are calling him and I quote, monster deep threat for them, whatever that is worth. We do know Gino is not afraid to launch that ball downfield.
I mean, it's definitely one I'm watching. That's one I'm keeping an eye on.
Okay. We are up here right now. Brian Thomas, London, Monra, McConkey.
Let's go Brian Thomas.
BTJ, I love to hear it. That was a big stand of mine last year. Good old BTJ. I wish we could still get him where he was going last year. Okay, up again. Drake London, AJ Brown, Hill, Higgins, Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, McBride.
London.
I do not take a lot of London, so I don't mind doing that. And I reminded me, you brought this up that somebody said that they are doing this in a contest with Puka, where they're not really taking him in like BBM, but they took him a lot in this one contest to, if he's wrong in BBM, he's right there. Who was that?
Well, that was, I don't know if Huhames, that's the stand. He's actually high on Puka across the board, but I think it was the Poodle. He took him in like, if he's still in chat, he can mention, but he took him in like 10 of the 20 drafts. Like he just wanted to be way overweight on him in one of these like smaller contests. He's high on him in general, but it was like, or maybe 12 of 20, something like that. Because he wanted, if he was right, he wanted to have just multiple lineups just crush.
10-4. I'll come back to that. T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, JSM, Breece Hall, Kyron Williams.
Take Jaden Daniels.
He is available. We most certainly can. You don't got to tell me twice, Steve. I love our QB. So coming up next here, because we'll be up in 2 picks, running backs available, Breece Hall, Kyron Williams, Omarion Hampton, or George Kittle is still available. We could double up and take like Jalen Hurts as well, or of course, any of the wide receivers at the top.
Let's take Kittle.
Okay, Kittle is available, and I love doing that too, grabbing a elite onesie at both positions. Anyway, back to that, like Drake London is somebody I haven't drafted a ton of in like BBMs and some of these other ones, so I don't mind in a contest maybe taking him a little bit more because of what Huhames was saying. Like that is an interesting way to look at a player that maybe you don't absolutely love, but you don't want to get burned on either. Take a contest and maybe draft more of him in that one just in case you're wrong, essentially.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great way to hedge if that's your stand, and just kind of like know that in this tournament, like if he goes off, I have multiple shots that could be just making all the way to the finals.
Yep. Yeah. It was just an interesting take. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that with some of these guys in a contest. We are coming up next. We got Chuba's the next available running back. Outside of that, we have pretty much our pick of the litter of wide receivers. Quarterback, Mahomes is the next one, and tight end, Hawkinson. So
let's really go running back here. Who else is there but Chuba?
Chuba, Kamara, Connor, Harvey.
Kamara, Connor.
Ooh, you know what? Let's go Kamara. I like the upside on the receiving there, especially with Jawan Jennings getting hurt as well.
Yeah.
That sucks.
49ers just can't keep a receiver healthy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I meant Jawan Johnson. When I said Jawan Jennings, I meant Johnson for
the Saints.
Yeah. Adams, JSN, McLaurin.
I like Adams.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to take Adams? This is Steve. Our wide receiver room right now: CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Devontae Adams. That feels nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
All right. So another guy I want to ask you, faux real or faux gazi, is Trey Harris. Getting a lot of camp steam. I'm heavily invested in Trey Harris. Is he going to be the real deal?
I think so. I mean, I was very bullish on him pre-draft. I had him as a borderline first-round wide receiver. Kind of, if you counted Travis Hunter in the receiver, I think Harris was the sixth receiver in the draft. And I just think he's got the upside to be a very good receiver at the next level, and fits exactly what they need.
Yep, and doesn't have stone hands like Quentin Johnson. All right, Steve, we got a boatload of wide receivers. Running backs, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson are available.
Let's go Harvey.
He is also impressing at camp.
Yeah.
That has been very nice for him, as well as Omarion Hampton, too, with this Najee nonsense. All right, that guy just went double
hit another
QB.
running back here.
Henderson, not taking Mixon. Caleb Johnson, Swift, Montgomery.
Caleb.
Caleb, that is the exact opposite of what I am doing with the Drake London, because Caleb Johnson, I'm picking him everywhere and anywhere. So I'll just be heavily. If Caleb Johnson gets hurt like week 1, I'm just going to be.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Just saying, if it's early in the year, that is going to be absolutely detrimental for me. All right. So just to look at quarterback here, we got Murray, Nix, Purdy on next one's up. Tight end, Kelsey, Ingram, Andrews, Warren. Wide receiver, an absolute boatload.
What are you thinking in terms of build?
So I'm thinking at this point, we can probably potentially go 6 wide receivers. We only have 2 on the same bye, so that's potential. Kittle, I'm okay going 2. I kind of want to take 3 quarterbacks.
I think we should take 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, so that's I kind of want to do that. I haven't done that a ton in this contest, and I kind of want to do that a little bit. Let's see. So what could we do? I mean, Dak is in play. Yeah, I mean, T-Law. We have, I mean, like if we want to take a running quarterback and, like Fields or Murray are interesting for running ability. Running backs, Pacheco, Pollard, Aaron Jones.
Let's take a quarterback. Do you want to take a shot on Fields even with the injury risk? If we're taking the 3rd and have Daniels?
I'm fine with it. Why not? Again, like I have not taken Fields, so I don't mind getting a little different here. All right, so do we want another one now, or are we going to wait on Dak?
Let's wait. Okay. How do you feel on like Pacheco or Pollard? Just get another starting running back.
Yeah, you know what? Let's take Pacheco because we don't have anybody on 10, right? Yeah, nobody on 10. Let's do that. Yeah, I don't mind taking Pacheco there. If he gets back into form for what he was for them, that's an absolute steal. It reminds me of like what Josh Jacobs was for the Raiders back when he was being drafted in like the 9th round. What was that? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
Like super, and then he just came out and was absolutely great. Like that could be Pacheco potentially.
Yeah.
So just looking at tight ends here, Mark Andrews, Warren, Kraft, Njoku, Loveland. We got a couple options there as well.
There's also a guy we could take late.
There is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is, Steve. At first I was like, who's the guy? And then it clicked on me. Yeah. Do we want to take another?
I think receiver here.
Yeah. So there's a couple here that are interesting to me. All right, so we are up Hunter Odunze now.
Rome.
Hunter Rome, okay.
Yeah.
Just checking in with the chat. Also, Jeff T just says, "Why does the Fanspeak rankings have Cam Scatterboo at 101?" Obviously, he is joking, but that would be pretty funny to see that. All right, we are up again here. Do we want to grab Dak before anyone else does? Do we Okay.
Yeah.
Just because I think this is an interesting QB room for us here with Daniels, Fields, and Prescott, all different buys as well, just pointing that out. Do we want to take a tight end to just solidify our 2 tight end build here?
I mean, would you still feel like,
or do you want to?
Yeah. Do you still feel like 2 tight ends with the guy we're thinking? I'm fine with it.
Well, let's see. So we are in 15, 16, 17, 18. So we got 4 picks left. If we add 1, 2, 3, actually, we could do 2 tight ends, a wide receiver, and a running back yet.
Yeah. I'm
cool with 2 tight ends if you want to do that, knowing who we want to take.
Yeah.
Do we want to grab the upside of Warren potentially? Kraft feels pretty safe. We could also take Ferguson and the other late guy, depending on how you want to play that.
I'm fine going Warren here.
Let's see if he makes it to us. Okay, I think he's going to, because I don't think this guy's taking a 4 tight end.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
That was a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. All right, so right now we are currently at 3-5-5-2. Just looking at running back and wide receiver here: Judy, Myers, Pearsall, Diggs, Godwin.
I say Diggs.
Okay.
get the potential number one there.
Running backs, ETN, Warren, Tracy,
I think
Judge.
you know who we should go.
Lord Jesus, please God, I know I'm not even going to put it. I won't put it again into the universe. Yeah. Oh, you mean you want to draft Trey Benson? Yeah. 10
yeah, absolutely. I'm a big Bayshell Tootin fan.
Yeah. Like there's guys down here that I am in some of my BBB builds. Like I'm going to take a Roshan Johnson one of these times. I'll take a, I've already taken Taj Brooks. I'll take a Woody Marks. I'll take a shot on like some of these other guys that if something happens, like I might take a Tyler Algier. If Bijan goes down, I would love that running back to follow up. So I'm gonna do that too. But I know who you're talking about here, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Warren. Oh no, Chad's not in here with us. All right, good. We can say it out loud. We'll star method him.
But it's also, he's a guy who's not going to go 100% drafted. So he does make you unique, which is, I think it is a nice help.
All right, Cam, come on down. You are the next contestant on our team. Thank you for playing. See, GAB said, oh, nope, we're up again real quick. All right, so are we taking Ertz?
Yeah, let's do it.
See, in Sapatico, you didn't even need to say the name. I knew it as soon as you said Lake Eye. So George Kittle, Tyler Warren, Zach Ertz. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times when I take a guy like Kittle, even with an Ertz or Gesicki, I'm only taking two because I think you have two top 10 tight ends, and I think that's great. But Warren, I think, is extra value. So no, we should smash it. Tight end. Running back is probably our weakest position, but not weak overall. Like, we got 6 guys, different buys. We're always going to have 5 guys available. And
we won't week 14. Scatterboo and CMC are on the same. But outside of that, I mean,
yeah.
So that feels nice as well. And then wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, Drake
so
London,
strong.
Adams, Odunze, and Diggs. That feels very strong as well. Now we do have 2 on 5 and 2 on 8. Not a massive deal by any means with the star power that are that's sitting there. So all right. So just to read the full team for everybody here: 3-6-6-3 for us: Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, CMC, Kamara, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, Pacheco, and Scatterboo. CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Devontae Adams, Rome Odunze, Steph Diggs, George Kittle, Tyler Warren, Zach Ertz. Again, love that team, Steve.
I love it as well.
That's why these are fun. You build super teams. It's awesome. I absolutely love these. All right, back to the drafts. Where do you want to go to next? Another BBB, or should we go somewhere else?
Do you want to do Chihuahua?
Sure, I most certainly do. I was going to say, before you said, I was going to say, the board is yours. Just, shout out Fantasy Jeopardy, which will not be tonight. That will be next week, correct?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, tomorrow. I'm sorry. Yes.
Neil and Nez.
The ends. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. For anybody who wants to draft with us, we are now flipping over to the Chihuahua. $4 entry for you ballers on a budget. I will count it down and we will enter in. Obviously, 20 seconds. Please don't take the 8-hour per pick. Please bid responsibly. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Entering now. Of course, location detection. Now let me do it on the phone.
Oh,
good. Gee, Willikers. I'm sorry if anybody got in there and we aren't in there with you. That is our bad. Chihuahua. Here we go. All right. Now going in. 4 more to start. We probably got lucky on that one. So 4 more to start, people. Let me find us here. Where are we at? Of course, okay, let me go back in. I don't think it came on yet. Where are we at? Chihuahua? Way down here. Unfilled. Yeah. That's why. And now we'll end up here. Start shortly. Go to draft. Here we go. Let's see if we have any friends and family in the draft with us. Lego. Oh, God. He almost got me to say it. No, sir. You did not get me to say that. Yikes. Lolsimo in here. Money nice. Mike, which we do know is not Mike Raub. He is dumb money. But maybe alternate universe Mike Raub. All right, we are in the 3 spot, Steve. Out of the gate, What do you want to do? I kind of hope that one of the Bijan and or Barkley fall to us personally.
Yeah, no, I think right now in top three, top two, I'm really taking Chase, Bijan. 3, I mix it up kind of between Barkley, Lamb, and Gibbs. I've moved Jefferson back slightly just with the the little issue he had, but yeah, 1 and 2 right now. Chase, Bijan anytime I can get him.
All right. Also, Steve, your fans want to know: do you have a Discord, Steve, and is it free?
So we are going to be creating a Discord as part of our Substack. That should be done.
Barkley, correct? Sorry.
Later. Yeah, let's go Barkley.
Yep.
We are on Pat's Discord. We have a Fanspeak channel on that.
If you don't know what he's talking about when he said Pat, he Fantasy Dog Pound is who he's referring to. So you can be invited to that as well if you would like.
But we are going to be creating our own Discord for our subs.
Yes, we will, chat. Yes, we will. That is on the horizon. Then you can get in there and talk to us literally 24/7. Not only will Steve be doing 8 billion slows, but he will also be answering every single message with a personal touch. Not a guarantee, not financial advice. Gamson, yes, Discord coming next week, hopefully for Fanspeak Substack subs. Join the Best Ball subscription now, $34.99 for the entire season. GAB says, I would take Thornton in Bros Brawls format too. I'm team scroll the fuck down. I like it. Mike Raub, $2 for 2 buttons undone, Steve. Let's go. You get us $1.99 for having 2 buttons undone. Let's go, Mike Raub.
I love it. Thank you, Mike.
What an absolute legend. He said, balls now in your court, Steve. See how many buttons are undone next week. Mike Raub, what is the price for no shirt, Steve? All right, what's the super sticker there for no? Hey, you know what, Mike? For the right price, I'll sit here, no shirt and no pants. Just saying. I know you won't see it, but you'll know. All right, believe me, you'll know.
You'll know.
Al Boogie says, wow, rug pull. Geraldoff's in the 6th spot.
Yeah, I did see him. I wasn't sure
That's
if he's in
awesome.
chat. Good seeing you in chat.
All right, we will take a look at that team at the very end as well. Hartman checking in, GM. Mike Robb says, damn, my broadcast missed it because I didn't know I was behind on the stream and got into it late. Sorry, Mike Robb. Hartman, am I allowed to use Steve as an RTA for my slow pick? Hey, you know what? For the right price, I'm sure Steve's mind can be yours. He said also disbanded. Hey, this is a rare for disbanded, putting in actual letters minus the period. He says, and then do a handstand. For the right price, I will handstand, no shirt, no pants. What happens? It might get blurred out. I don't know, but it'll be there for you. All right. That has to be a comping a BBM. And Andrew, we all know you are Winnie the Poohing in Under the Stream. Oh, Lord Jesus. The chat has taken us off the rails, Steve. We are up into picks. We will have some sort of Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Bucky, Higgins, Jacobs, McBride, Harrison. What would you like to do? We currently have Barkley.
JT is always fun. I'd say JT or Higgins.
Oh, JT or Higgins. What do we? So what's that? 9. So that doesn't. My golly. Oh God, I really love Higgins too. No, we'll do it. We'll take Taylor. I almost did. I don't know if you saw what I did with Mike Robb. We couldn't decide, so I rouletted it. I just kept grabbing them and sticking them back and forth to see which one it would take. Mike Robb was a fan. He liked the roulette pick there.
That's an interesting way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't decide,
let the time.
That's right.
Timer decide. Yeah.
Let the universe tell you whatever it hits 0 and that top player is, it was meant to be. Again, not financial advice, chat. All right. So coming up here, Steve. God, please don't take Higgins. Both of you. Don't take Higgins. Don't do it. Don't do it. Golly. All right, so do we bully and just go Barkley, Taylor, and Jacobs, or do we take Harrison, Adams, or we can take our pick of Lamar or Allen?
I would say either Adams or Allen.
Golly, let's see what Josh Allen it is. Let's do it. I love
what's interesting is Allen Barkley correlate week 17.
See,
So,
Steve, you got to trust the process. All right. It was meant to be.
yeah. But I like bringing them up sometimes, and then you just kind of build out from there. And, you know, you have two of the best offenses going out against each other week 17. Why not get their top piece, each one, Allen versus Barkley?
Yes, very, very much so. And is Allen in? And I don't know. I mean, maybe you don't even look at some quarterbacks this way, but I do. The Lamars, the Murrays, the Jaden Daniels. There's quarterbacks I'm okay taking that I don't care if I actually get a stack with them or not. Is Josh? Well, first, do you mind doing that? And second, is Josh Allen in that consideration for you?
Yeah, no, he's definitely in that consideration. What is easier for him than some others, like say a Hurts, is all his stacking partners go so much later. So even like Jaden, like, you know, if you don't get Terry right there, you're not getting that stack. But Allen is so easy to back stack if you need to. But if we don't, we don't. You know, it's not, to me, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good because I didn't want to say I put Allen in that when I was naming them, but I also do. I don't like, it's easier to stack with him, but I don't really care about stacking Josh Allen, to be honest. Like, especially because they don't have like a true number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter. Josh Allen's a spread the ball around kind of guy, and then of course when they get around the goal line, I'm going to go ahead and just tuck my head and get in there myself. So I really like.
I mean, one of the best people I stack with him is when he comes back is James Cook, and then just get all the touchdown equity.
That is very true. Yes, as well. And then of course, you know, if you take the I don't, how many people really want to take Dalton Kincaid? I think they got a bad taste in their mouth. I don't actually mind Dalton Kincaid stacking with Josh Allen because of how late he goes. The equity you got to put in for Kincaid is very small, and you know, last year he was going a lot higher. Like I feel like it's an overcorrection on how far back he's going because again, they have no true number one guy. If he comes back into a little bit of a form, into good graces, feel like Kincaid can be a guy that you know, can give you some value of where he's being drafted. Yeah. Also, obviously, Mike Raub says roulette method is way better than the star method in methodologies. Just saying, he's a smart man. All right, we are up next. We do have DJ Moore. We do have Jalen Hurts. So that's interesting. DK Metcalf, Jameson Williams, George Pickens, Ken Walker's down here. Chuba, which way you want to take this?
I would say DK or JMO.
DK is going to get a lot more targets. Jameson is so interesting. Oh man, just because we don't have like I want the targets.
Yeah.
God, that's so tough though, because I really love JMO a lot. I won't lie, Steve. Jalen Hurts, if he's here available to us, I'm just saying.
Thought about it. Yeah.
It's an interesting quarterback duo, and that would really keep us from having to go a third in my eyes, especially with their rushing abilities. Just saying, if he's coming back.
No, now, I've done it at least one time where in this exact situation.
Neither one of these, like, okay, oh boy,
do it.
Let's do it. Oh, I love that. Now we're gonna have to catch up at wide receiver, but I mean,
sure.
If those two guys go off like they did last year,
we're winning quarterback.
That's amazing. Seven spots pass for Hurts as well. So a little bit of a fall. Did not have to pay up to do it either. I love that a lot. And we have Barkley and Hurts.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Where did James Cook go?
He went in the fourth before we.
Okay, so before we even came up again. Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. All right. Who Haim says Steve isn't used to drafting with someone who can see.
Did you see his stream the other night?
No, I did not.
Oh, he did a milestone goal and he drafted blindfolded and he was in control of the mouse and I was directing him on how to draft.
Oh no.
And we did a weekly winners and it was chaos. And also for the first like 3 rounds, I couldn't see his mouse. So it was absolute chaos.
Oh my God. Well, now I know what I'm going to be watching tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was his Sunday stream.
That's awesome. I love that. That's a cool thing to do. I like when people do that. Like do some sort of challenge to it.
It was something.
That's awesome.
Oh my.
That's hilarious. I can visualize it in my mind, and yeah, it's probably worse than I'm picturing it. So I'll have to go watch that after the show tonight.
No, I mean there's chaos. It was definitely entertaining. The chat was loving it. I was I was definitely I mean, we got to a good spot where I was actually getting him to queue decent enough plays, but it was wild.
Thought about doing like a like a wheel where it tells me like what divisions I can draft in a draft as well. Or do like a conference and then narrow it down to like 3 divisions that I have to draft from, something of that nature. Thought that would be fun as well for some content. If you guys have any content like that, the lineup legends wants to hear from the people. So just saying, if there's something you guys want to see like that, throw that on over. We will try to incorporate that within the show. All right, Steve, we are up again. Caleb Johnson, Jerry Jeudy, Pearsall, Laporta, Diggs, Godwin.
I like Pearsall.
Okay, man, that is so interesting that you go that route. You seem like a guy that likes targets. I feel like Jeudy and Diggs absolutely will dominate Pearsall in targets.
Potentially. I think Pearsall will probably lead the 49ers in targets. That's my guess.
What does that look like to you, though? Is that 90? Is that 110?
No, I think that's like 120-ish.
Really? You think that many?
Yeah. I think he kind of plays the Debo role. Not the running, but
we are up again here real quick. Caleb Johnson, Jeudy, Laporta, Godwin, Golden, Shakir.
We could go Jeudy here. If you want to go receiver, Laporta, I think is fine.
Ooh, which one?
Let's go Jeudy. I think there's better later tight ends.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. You said it, and when I grabbed his name, it popped it open and not actually grabbed it. It is funny though, like Sam Laporta is a tight end I don't generally draft just because of in this range. I like a couple of the wide receivers that go here. So I generally don't take Laporta. So I actually like that, at least for my exposures.
Yeah. No, I love him as a player, but low on him exposure wise, just because I think he should go closer to Hawkinson. But yeah, he doesn't.
Though, like I look at him as like I kind of look, excuse me, at like Mike Gesicki, where there is a massive contingency play on Laporta if Jamison Williams or Amonra go down. The role he would then play within the offense is probably huge. So, like without that, I don't love Laporta. With that, Laporta would be in that top tier for me.
God, yeah, no, I see that. But it's just tough to, like you said, there's really good running backs and receivers still typically going there. But yeah, that's why I don't take a lot of them. But I think he's a fine play. It's just, about 10 spots too expensive.
Yeah, just I agree. Little bit pricey, though. I mean, obviously he's a great tight end. A little bit of a down year last year, but rookie year came in, was very good. So, yeah, big contingency play. I do like that factor for him. All right, so on our next go about here, what do you want to look at? Running back, wide receiver. I mean, we need wide receiver. Running back's getting, semi dicey as far as like pure workload stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe 1-1 if we could get one more okay running back, because that is the thing with us going with the double anchor. Like we got 2 alpha studs, legitimately could be RB1 and 2 on the year.
Same thing with quarterbacks.
Yeah, so. But I wouldn't mind hitting up a third running back here. But receiver is probably the first priority. Just also because some of these guys up top are injury guys.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Mooney, Pittman, Ayuk, Kupp, Coleman, Trey Harris. You know what? I know he would be our third, but I don't hate going Trey Harris there. I mean, you got Mooney, who got injured now. Pittman, whatever.
Pittman's injured. Yeah, he's dealing with something.
Yeah, Ayuk injured, Cooper Kupp. I don't know. Don't let me and Bruni get on Cooper Kupp discussion again. Keon Coleman, Trey Harris. I mean, what do you want to?
You want to do Harris first?
I most certainly do. Yes, I love Trey Harris.
And, we could double tap receiver here if you want to take.
I mean, your boy's coming up.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, like the problem is like Coleman's okay because we would have a stack. I don't hate Bateman, but outside of that, like I don't love any of these other guys. So if you want to go running back, I'm okay doing that as well.
I mean, we can reach, but I mean, maybe he'd come back to us.
I don't think he will. If we want him, I don't think we can wait to be completely honest with you.
Probably not.
So how do you want to play this here?
Let's do it with Scattaboo. Like we need
might as well.
We need a third back.
Yeah. I know you need to get the exposure up a little bit, so let's take him. Yeah. And again, like, you think how many people are truly building like this outside of maybe hit it with the gritty? I don't think a lot of people are going to go anchor running back or elite running back and elite quarterback. Like, that's and a
pretty
lot.
Decent tight end also.
Yes. Like, so you know what? We're being unique, Steve. All right. Being unique.
I mean, I'm guessing, and I don't do it a ton, but I think this could be a 9 wide receiver build. If we get one more tight end that we like, we're done at quarterback, done at tight end. We maybe go six running backs, depending on what probably the next running back determines whether we go 5 or 6. But yeah, I think we have some options, to build out, and we'll just take some, 1 or 2 more receivers we feel better about, and then just some shots at the end.
Yep. Putt Daddy saying, funny how many streamers would still take a third quarterback even with the Allen Hurts room. Yes, there is a way to build teams, and then there is a way to build teams where it doesn't really make sense. I would never take a third with this, because if you're wrong here, that third quarterback that you're going to take, I don't think is just going to truly matter. Like, we're drafting like we're right, like that these two guys are going to be top 4, both of them.
Yeah. The one caveat I'd say is, if you had a situation like last year where instead of Hurts's injury was in the playoffs, it was during the regular season, a third quarterback could help ensure you're not taking a 0 for a bye week for Allen. And, the last thing you want is to not advance your team because of that. And then Hurts and Allen are back, and those are the absolute 2 quarterbacks you need in the playoffs. That's kind of the one thing. But if so, it would only be like break glass in case of emergency, 17th, 18th round guy. Unfortunately, right now, those guys don't really exist. Those guys are, have moved up.
Yeah. I mean, and
I do think it's a little more different in like a BBM, where those pods are also so big as well. And even the finals is so big. But I generally agree. Like when I'm doing 2 quarterbacks with something like that, I'm doing 2 quarterbacks, but we are
Bateman,
up. Bateman makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, I like Bateman here. So when we come back around here, Burden available, Njoku, Tajay Spears, Stevenson, Kirk, Javonte, Hollywood Brown, the one-eyed wonder Najee Harris, Tootin, Kyle Williams, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, Ray Davis. How do you want to play this here?
Let's see, it's 123.
And we are 2-3-4-1 right now.
I think we go another receiver, like Burden, Kirk. I'd lean.
They are both available.
Kyle Williams, I don't mind bringing up if you want to bring him up. That's a rookie spike upside guy.
Man. All right, we'll do that. I do like the upside of Burden. The only issue with Burden, I guess, in my eyes, is the talent around him. Like, what's his target potential?
Yeah. How's it going, Eddie?
Pate says, I like the 9 wide receiver room in a build like this.
Yeah.
Eddie says, I take 3 QBs like 95% of the time. I agree with Steve. Yeah, and like, I don't, again, like, I'm not as harsh on taking 3 quarterbacks as I once was. But in this build, for me, it's all or nothing. Like, the way I look at it is, if I'm wrong here, okay, it was what it was. Like, I'm not too worried about it. especially with the way our room is built here, like we need wide receiver help. Depending on what happens at tight end, we may need to take a third one. Who knows? Like, I just don't want to go into it being like, okay, I want to take a third quarterback, because it's just, if I'm wrong, it's okay. Especially for $4, don't care.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, BBM, maybe different conversation. One of the Husky, something of that nature, maybe different. But for $4, like in these lower contests, it's all or nothing for me. I don't care.
This contest for sure. Yeah.
Have you done any one quarterbacks, or is that just never in the Steve wheelhouse? No. All right.
Nope.
I will tell you, I last year I think I did 3 of them. It was 2 Lamars and a Mahomes. I did make 1 Lamar through, so I advanced 33% on a 1 QB. So it can be done. But Lamar also had a really nice year. So
yeah, like I've definitely advanced on teams. Not that I intended to draft one quarterback, but like 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers going down on the second play of the game, and it became a 1 quarterback team. Or this past year, Dak going down, so for the whole second half of the year, that's second quarter, a 1 quarterback team.
Yes. Mike said, due to a current pending restraining order from Camp Scattaboo, the Shoup family, Meg, is no longer allowed to lurk in any room and must announce herself. She got tossed from New York Giants camp.
That might be true.
Barring injury, Burton's targets are capped at 80. Yeah, that feels probably right. Eddie says, how are you, Mike? Loving life and always enjoying the content here. Hope all is well there. All right, we are up next, Steve. Running backs, Trey Benson, Sampson, Garendo. What?
Sampson.
I want to talk to Sampson. Now, here's a question. And Steve, shout out to you if you know where that's from. That's from a movie. So I would be.
I need a little bit more. I'm usually good with.
It is Dave Chappelle who says, I want to talk to Sampson.
Is that half-baked?
What?
Half-baked?
It is. Yes.
Nice.
Well done. Oh, Steve, you just became so much cooler in my eyes too since knowing that. I didn't know if you would get that reference. A lot of people do
familiar,
not.
But
That's such a good movie. All right. Tillman, Leggett, Dobbs, Garendo, Algier, Palmer's there if we want to stack.
I still say Tillman offers more upside.
10-4. Let's do it. That will, now with that pick, that takes us to 2-4-6-1.
Mm-hmm.
So just to look at tight ends for next time around, likely Gotti maybe will be back for week 1. I kind of doubt that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Strange, Henry, Gesicki, Ertz, Smith, Otten, Taylor. There are some interesting plays still available. Isaiah likely. How far down do you think he falls, Steve?
I'm going to update my rankings tomorrow. I haven't decided exactly where, but I'll probably put him behind that group of tight ends you just mentioned. Now, I'm higher on those tight ends, like Gesicki and Ertz in general, but I'll put them behind all of them. Definitely swaying out a few, Eddie. I'm going to be about with the field percentage-wise. I think last I looked, I was like 18% in the dingers, a little less in some of the other contests. So I'm swaying out a few, and it ends this week, to get the regular season portion ends this week. So
it's funny, Steve, if I think of you crafting MLB teams, it's like Moneyball, where you're looking at like, all right, like where do I get the most bang for my buck here for these guys? Like that's how I visualize you drafting MLB teams.
I do. Yeah. No, you're not totally wrong.
Disbanded brother said, fly me to the moon. In reference, fly me to the moon. Never mind. Duh. Happy. I know he's talking about. Eddie Perez says, mine are awful.
Sorry. Yeah, it's been a tough year with injuries. That's for sure.
I did one, and I was leading for like the first 2 weeks, and then the downfall happened, and I got absolutely torched. I did one, and I got the first pick. I took Shohei, and I'm like, oh, this is okay. Like we're off to a good start. It quickly fell down, real quick. Yeah. Not an MLB guy, but I'm like, you know what? I at least want a little taste of the MLB, so I did one, It sucked. That was $10 wasted.
What is nice in the dingers, there is some overlay, so you might get some wild card teams in, Eddie or anyone else who's in it. Like, there's definitely, I forget, somebody's figured out how many there will be. I can't remember right now.
All right, just look at tight end here. Gesicki, Ertz, Jonnu coming up here. We want to take one of those?
I think we take one of them.
Do you want to take Gesicki?
Yeah, let's do Gesicki. I know, obviously we had Jaden, we take Ertz, but why not do Gesicki here?
Yep. All right, when we come back around, do we want to look at running back? It's Roschon, Dowdle, Shipley, Sanders, Lloyd. I like Roschon personally. Wide receiver, Pat Bryant, Dusty Thielen, Wandale, Alec Pierce. Oh, God, you're going to talk me into it. This is what Steve's going to say, chat. Well, for this kind of build, it would be great to get some consistent points. Golly. Oh my God, he got taken.
Yes. Jordan Green. Damn you, Jordan. Let's go running back. Let's go Roschon.
Oh, my God. I thought for sure we were taking – I just saw it. I saw Thielen on the team. I heard you say it to me before you even said it. Oh, Lord Jesus. Jordan Green must have signed up for Fanspeak Best Ball subscription and is looking at Steve's rankings right now. Oh, Lord.
Oh, my. It's too funny.
Otani just left with an injury tonight, too. Oh,
great.
Yeah, neat for that. Yeah, I did see this. Acuna Jr. saw that. Yeah. Ouch.
Oh. Yeah, no, there have been some rough injuries.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm just waiting for preseason to happen where we just get some random guy that we just start to like, and then he gets injured, and we're like, okay, well, that was fun for a second.
Yeah, look at Hollywood last year, first preseason game.
And then just Hollywood also got injured.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course. When I start to buy back in again, I'm like, okay, he's gonna have a nice little role here with Rashee Rice, nope, there he is, injured. Like, neat. All right, cool. Steve, 2 or 3 tight ends on this build?
I think 2. I really do.
Okay. I'm okay with that. There are guys there that I don't mind taking a shot on, some flyer guys, but I'm also okay with just leaning on Laporta and Gesicki and seeing what happens. So we are currently 2-5-6-2. Do we want one more running back?
I think we should see what falls back to us. Like, if the right guy falls, I think getting another running back could work out. But we could just go with the 9 receivers. I mean, I think we've caught up a decent amount at receiver. We could take some shots on a guy like a Thornton, or there's other guys here like Slayton, on big on.
Steve, I do want to ask you. So, like, this is something that I did a lot last year. I haven't done a ton of it this year yet, but just pointing it out because I just saw it. Are you interested at all in taking like a Bateman and a Hopkins? Or do you do that at all ever, where you're taking 2 from the same team and hoping one of them is a hit, 6-7 times throughout the year?
Yeah, I don't think especially if you're doing extra receivers. If you're only doing, definitely not 6. If you're doing 7, no. I mean, if they both have 2 clear roles, like Puka and Devontae Adams, sure. But if we're talking like this, it's more like a 8 receiver build, but yeah.
All right. So Dowdle, Shipley, Noel, Brown, Hopkins, Slayton, Calvin Austin. How do you want to go here?
Let's do Hopkins.
Okay. I do like this, especially in this build. Like, we need a guy to score points. Having 2 from the same team, unless they both get injured, I feel like
it's from an elite offense also.
Yes.
Like, we're not talking about getting Cedric Tillman and the Browns' 3rd receiver, Deontay Johnson,
Yeah, Deontay Johnson. God, people are starting. I see it on Twitter now. People are starting to buy back in. I'm like, I'm not ready.
Do you want to go running back here or receiver?
Well, all right. Well, receiving room, I mean, Metcalf, Pearsall, Harris, Bateman, Kyle Williams, Cedric Tillman, Hopkins. Why are you interested in Dowdle or Shipley?
I was thinking of pulling up Taj Brooks, but
Steve, that's all you had to say. I thought you were. If you would told me Shipley or Dowd, I'm like, I don't know. Taj Brooks, I'm bought in.
especially with Moss getting cut. Like,
oh man, wow. I wonder who could have said that earlier in
Yeah.
the year. People are like, what about Zach Moss? What about Zach Moss? What has he done in his career that makes you be like, Zach Moss is the guy? No, pass.
now the only competition is Samaje Perine, which there's been no talk about.
No.
Like, there's been zero camp reports on Perine.
Yeah. Tajay Brooks. Tajay. Oh, Jesus. Taj Brooks, 16% pre-draft, 15% post-draft for me right now. Like Taj Brooks. Love Taj Brooks.
It a lot.
Especially again, like you hit on the Hopkins and Bateman, from an elite offense. Taj Brooks, also from an elite offense. Love that.
Yep.
All right, now we need a wide receiver for sure.
Yeah.
Noel Brown, Austin, Yoshivas, Atwell, Lockett, Wicks, Coker, Ayumanor, McLeod is Ray Ray's interesting just because of what's up with Mooney right now. Anybody is there any scroll downs that you want to check out? Tesla.
My scroll down guy
is right there. I know.
MVS. Yeah.
Golly. You guys absolutely killing me. If you weren't to take him, is there another guy that you could talk me to?
I mean, it's not fun, but it does sound like Josh Reynolds will be the number 2 for the Jets. He's a guy who doesn't get drafted all the time, so he could add uniqueness.
If he's there, Steve, I like it because we have. Oh no, shit! We had Fields on the last draft. All right, you know what? Fuck it, Steve. Let's do it. How many people do we have on 9? Only one. That's fine. This will be my first share of Josh Reynolds. I will tell you that right now. Like guys here that I personally like I don't mind De'Ami Brown just because if Hunter really isn't going to play a full complement of snaps, he'll be the next guy up. I like Tutu Atwell just because of how concentrated that offense can be and what his downfield ability is. Ayumanor is interesting. I like Ray right now because of what Mooney's happening. Roman Wilson's always interesting to me. So there's guys there. Also Tesla. I know he may not have been absolutely incredible in college. He was a head turner at the Senior Bowl. Again, if JMO or Amon St. Brown miss, he probably slots in there, and that's a pairing with Laporta. That's an interesting one to me. Jermaine Burton, also interesting to me. There's some interesting guys. But Josh Reynolds, I do not have any of, so if you want to take that, I like that over MVS, I won't lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other ones like De'Ami, Tutu, I think makes sense, but I think mixing it up with Reynolds, even in a time box contest like this, he's going to be 20% owned, 15% owned, and I agree with Tim.
Yeah. Who says that he would have taken Devontae Walker? I tell you what, last year I would have looked at that the same way, but I just don't know. Like he hasn't done it yet, and it scares me that they just maybe.
I know there were a few positive buzz reports on Walker, but I just think it's going to be tough for him.
All right. Are we taking Josh Reynolds?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and Mike Raub has a fair point. Like, the Jets probably don't, that's not an offense you need to go too deep on, but Reynolds has historically shown to be a bit of a spike week guy with the Lions and even the Rams. So if he does win the number 2 job, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a couple. It's like a poor man's version of Slayton.
Obviously, in this build, we are looking at flex being filled by the running back at least 95% of the time. So our final team, and then we will go back and look at Gerard. How do you say that name? Is it Gerard Oates?
Gerardo DFS.
Gerardo, is that how you do? Okay. Just checking. All right. We went 2-6-8-2. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Absolutely incredible pairing right there. Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Scattaboo, Dylan Sampson, Roshan, and Taj Brooks. DK Metcalf, Ricky Pearsall, Trey Harris, Rashad Bateman, Kyle Williams, Cedric Tillman, DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Reynolds, Sam Laporta, Mike Gesicki. Not bad.
No, I mean, it's a. We know we need those running backs to go off. We need those 2 quarterbacks to go off. And, Laporte and Gesicki. And we're set at those positions. And then, if collectively those receivers can can give us enough usable weeks, I think we're fine.
And Lolsimo obviously reminding me that he's in here as well. So let's look at their teams real quick here. Gerardo DFS got 2-5-8-3. Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy. I like that tandem. CMC, Chase Brown, Tootin, Jalen Wright, Will Shipley. Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith, Jawan Jennings, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Kirk, Romeo Dobbs, Wandale Robinson, and Michael Wilson. And then Hawkinson, Loveland, and Okonkwo. CMC and Brown, that's a nice pairing there. If something happens there, he may be in a little bit of a pickle on weekly points. That could hurt. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, he's betting on upside for guys like Tootin and Wright. So it's one of those things that they hit right, then maybe he's still fine. If not, then he's potentially just relying on those two backs. But those are former moderately drafted guys with speed and potential. So if they land the right role, I'm a little bit more bold. I like Jalen Wright a little bit more than Tootin, but yeah, I just don't know what to do with the Jags right now.
Yeah, they are tough to read, and that's kind of why I've been staying away a little bit until the camp tells us a little bit more, though camp does look like it's leaning Tank Bigsby as of right now. Wide receivers, Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith, Juwan Jennings. Oh, wait, I read this, sorry. I don't mind the wide receivers. There's some, Flowers could be high ceiling, low floor guy. Smith, kind of the same thing. He has guys in here that I think he's going to use a lot of his wide receivers throughout the year for points, is how I'm looking at this team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Flowers is a better pick with Lamar, so you've got to like that. I don't usually take Flowers without Lamar, just because I think you kind of need Lamar to have a big year for Flowers to have a big year. But again, he's first three receivers are guys with elite offenses, and of course, two of them are stacked. So you got to like that. And then Jeudy, we talked about him. He could have a ton of volume, and he got him at a nice discount. Almost 10 picks past ADP.
And then tight ends, Hawkinson, Loveland, Okonkwo. That's not bad at all. All right, let's head on over to Lolsimo. 3663, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, like that. Travion Henderson, Dave Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Tyler Algier, Braylon Allen, Miles Sanders. Okay. Not bad. I don't mind the top three guys, as far as mixing and mingling between each other for points on a weekly basis. Algier kind of contingency play with a little standalone value. Same thing with Braylon Allen. And then Miles Sanders, you had me until there. Do not like Miles Sanders.
I'm actually taking Miles Sanders in the 180.
Oh, no, Steve.
I don't trust Devontae. I don't trust Blue. I will take the.
And discount. You trust Miles Sanders, not on the Eagles?
Not really, but I trust him in the 180s.
Okay. All right. Can't get on that one. There's other guys I'd rather take over Miles Sanders. I also feel like the Cowboys are just still going to add somebody at some point.
That's the risk to me. Yeah. Is somebody gets cut or somebody gets traded to them.
Yeah. Nico Collins, Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison, Xavier Worthy, Chris Godwin, Jalen Knoll.
Good room.
Yeah, very nice starting guys right there. That is excellent. And then Dallas Goedert, Isaiah Likely, Pat Freiermuth, which he took the shot on likely.
33 picks past ADP. I'd do it there for sure.
Yeah, I'll say that's not bad. I don't mind.
Like I said, that's exactly what I said. I'd take him behind the Ertz and that crew, and that's, I'm sure, where he got him.
Yeah, and I like that he backed it up then with a Freiermuth that, something to kind of help until Likely at least comes back.
Exactly.
Overall not bad there as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Okay, Steve, I don't know when you want to go solo, but you let me know. Do we want to do another Badge Bros Brawl, or do you want to kick me off and then people can just stare at you?
Let's do another Badge Bros Brawl, and then I'll go solo.
All right. Badge Bros Brawl, people. If anybody wants to get in, it is your time right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Golly, always with the come on. I just don't get it. It let me in the first time and then not. Oh, Lord, here we go again with this. All right. Like I said, Badge Bros Brawl now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5 more to start. Oh, God, everyone probably filled that.
Yeah.
And sorry, everyone. That sucked. That is my fault. And when I say mine, I mean not mine.
After this, I will keep drafting. I'll probably do a Husky and maybe one other draft. I'm going to go for a marathon session tonight. FK says sabotaged.
Yeah, Tank Bisbee sabotage. Yeah, sorry, coolers. Underdog got me on that one.
But it's just so wild. The first draft you got in perfectly fine, and the next two, somehow your location changed, Andrew.
It just, yeah, like what? I don't know. Hey, Chaz Michelson in here.
Nice.
All right, I like that. I don't think I know anybody else.
Oh, No Nonsense Media. That's Boston.
Oh, is No? Oh, yeah. Okay.
No. That's Boston Gord or George in the one spot.
Oh, Boston George's No Nonsense?
Or not Nonsense Media, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was No. That's just a correlation, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
FK Cooler says, how far down are you guys willing to reach at wide receiver? I like the idea of low-owned ones, but there also has to be a point where it's just sort of bad. Let's just take a gander down here. Like, are you, Steve, let me start it off. I'll ask you, Diggs.
Oh, yeah. I
yes? Okay.
Diggs, definitely.
Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Josh Downs.
Yeah, no, I'm still taking those guys for sure.
Okay. Pittman, Higgins, Ayuk. Are we starting to get to the point?
Yeah, less now, but I do look for a few like spike week guys like a Keon Coleman or Shaheed. Bateman is a spike week guy. So guys like that. I mean, really far down, honestly, it's like guys like Tillman or Thielen, guys who've shown that they can have like 20 plus point games.
In a contest where you're creating super teams that you still want to put Adam Thielen.
He finished 31 in points per game last year.
Oh my God. I'll never get tired of hearing it from you though. I just, oh sweet Jesus. One of us is going to be able to put it out there on Twitter and say, I told you so. All right, Steve, we are up. CeeDee Lamb, CMC, Puka, Neighbors.
Do you want to do different from last time and do Lamb and Neighbors?
I'm fine with this. I was also fine with going Puka.
If you want to do Puka, that's fine.
Oh boy, injury severity downplayed. Do you care at all about that, or no?
I'm not too worried about Neighbors.
Okay, 10-4. 10-4. Sorry, Puka. I'm your biggest fan, though. I'm sorry. Let's see. Check in with the chat. Mike Robb says rub pull. I'm assuming he means rug pull, but knowing Mike Robb, he might also mean rub pull. Now you know why he has a few kids, always misjudging his timing. Jeez. Steve itching to get in his own drafts as he still has 800 to do this summer. Yeah. Cooler says that's exact Coleman range as far as I have gone. I said, Esmeralda, finally I can chat. Welcome into the Thunderdome. Tim D, I don't know about Jags backfield. Someone is going to eat there, maybe like Tampa Bay with White and Bucky eating. Yes. This is Eddie on my wife's phone. I just subscribed here also. Legend. Eddie is an absolute legend.
Love it, Eddie.
We appreciate you. If your other girlfriend has, or if your girlfriend's phone also has YouTube, you can get it on there too.
Get every one of your family members, get them subbed.
When you hang out at a picnic, be like, oh my, did you get a new phone? Let me see that. Then hop on YouTube real quick. All right, Steve, we are up. Drake London, McConkey, Bowers, Taylor.
Let's definitely do Bowers. Get that one, that elite tight end.
What the hell just happened? Oh, that was odd. All right. Okay, Trey Bryce Taylor too. Just putting that up. London, McConkey, Taylor.
McConkey.
Okay. So you didn't. Okay, I'm just clarifying. You don't want to do Trey Oh, never mind. He's by week 8. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm definitely doing that now, knowing that because I've also taken a Lamar and Josh Allen double tandem as well, and they're both by week 7. Got to be a little unique. So maybe after the show, while I'm watching you try to drive Huhames. God, that sounds so weird. Pause. No Diddy. Drive the screen for him. Maybe I'll do that and get myself a Bowers and McBride.
I mean, if you add a third tight end, it definitely can work. You just have to. I don't think you want to take a 0 in this contest.
That's true. That's true. But what if I'm so far ahead because of those two that it doesn't matter?
I mean, that's possible, but it's like, could a Kittle Hawkinson tight end tandem be just as good and not missing any points?
Yep. No, you are right, chat. Don't listen to me. Listen to him. I'm just saying that maybe it could work, but Steve says it's not going to. So,
but I would just say, like, I've not done that, but I have done the Allen Jackson, combo, and not
Allen Jackson. Very nice.
But then I take I can't remember who the third quarter. I don't know. No, it wasn't even that far down.
Oh, we are up, by the way. Higgins, Harrison, Adams, Breece Hall, Kyron.
Yeah, let's do Hampton.
And then who do you want of the Higgins, Adams, Harrison?
Let's do Higgins.
I like the way you think. Thank God. I love Higgins. I'm ready to be hurt again, Steve, when I have him and he's balling out, and then week 15 he absolutely just destroys me because he have him on every team that I don't advance. I'm ready to be hurt again.
But no, I mean, you can get a final round quarterback of, Trevor Lawrence or somebody like that to just cover that bye week, and also could have a couple of spike weeks of his own.
Yes. Esmeralda, aka Eddie, says Dad just subbed.
Nice, love it.
Mom on deck. Mom is on deck.
Keep it going. But no, I do think I mean, I love this receiver room. So at 43, I just saw Hurts went. Do you want to take Burrow there?
Yes, I do, Steve. Yes, I do.
And let's go with a running back, maybe. Walker? How do you feel about Ken Walker?
Is fine. I hate that I feel like I'm truly deep in my gut that he's going to get injured like 5 times this year with the damn hamstring nonsense. But I am okay doing that. His upside is large.
Yeah.
Just needs to stay healthy. God, his hamstrings are like just jello.
But in this
back to 100%. Speak of the devil. Yeah, I bet.
In this contest, that kind of thing is fine because we shouldn't expect him to count every week. So we just need his spike weeks. It's the same with some of these like injury guys, like a Godwin or a suspension guy like Rice. Like, Rice, yeah, he's going to miss 6 weeks, but we care about the 4 or 5 spike weeks that he could give later in the year. Same with Godwin. Like, yeah, he might start slow, but dude when he got hurt, he was wide receiver 2.
Godwin is scaring me. I won't lie.
Yeah.
And Baker really had glowing remarks about Egbuka.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just quarterback speak or if we really should buy into that or not, but Godwin, as the days go on, I'm getting more and more concerned about what Godwin will be this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he scares me now.
No, I mean, I don't, definitely really slow down or only take him when he falls a decent amount. But at the same time, they gave him a good amount of money, and he was wide receiver 2 when he got hurt. It's tough to forget that.
Yeah, this is true. All right, we are up. Mahomes, Mayfield, Murray, Tet, Pickens, Sutton, Waddle.
I like Pickens or Sutton at receiver. We have Lamb, so let's do Sutton.
Yeah, let's do Sutton. Yeah.
And then I'd do a running back, I think.
Henderson, not Mixon, Caleb Johnson, Swift, Montgomery.
Henderson, I think he's got a lot of spike week potential.
Okay. I also could be bought into David Montgomery as well. I know the full upside isn't there without Gibbs being injured, but God, they still just really like David Montgomery.
No, they do. Our wide receiver, we could again stop at 6 wide receivers. Like, that room is just insane.
Yeah. Sure is. And again, we got 2 guys on 10, 2 guys on 12.
Yeah, so as long as our 6th one isn't one of those weeks, I think we're fine.
All right. So coming back around, what do you want to hold on? Let's just look at QB again. Mahomes, Mayfield, Murray, Nix, Purdy. A couple of those guys, I don't mind either. Like, do you want to take a shot on like Justin Herbert in this one at all?
Yeah, I don't mind. And Herbert's another one you can get in like the 17th round. Like, he doesn't go super high in this.
Like, I don't mind taking, like, what if we would do what So that's 12. Oh, shit, they're both 12. I was going to say, what if we did Knicks and Herbert, but they're both 12? Not that matters. But I mean, Burrow is 10. So, but that would be interesting to me as well. Or if we take like an Egbuka as our last receiver and take Baker, I don't hate that either. There's some opportunities here. Running backs, though, we are looking at Dave Montgomery coming up, Pacheco, Pollard, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I like doing at least one of those. We could even double tap it.
God, the guy took Joe Mixon over Dave Montgomery. That was wild to me right now. All right, I would like to take Montgomery personally.
Yeah.
Who else do you want to take? Like Aaron Jones is interesting.
We did Pacheco last time. What about Pollard this time?
Pollard, okay. All right, so that's 1-5-5-1 right now. If we want to go back and look at tight ends, Hawkinson, Ingram, Andrews, Warren, Kraft. Quarterbacks, we still got everyone that we said before.
What about targeting a guy like, and we could double tap it here coming up. I'll wait until these guys make the picks. Not that I care if they get sniped, but appreciate it, Eddie. But I was thinking, what if we hit up May Diggs?
May Diggs. Okay. All right. That's let's see, where's May? Down there, 14. Yeah, that would take us.
It'd be our second 14, so we'd have two of each.
Two of each. Does that hurt us knowing that we're going in with 4 each week without injuries?
But it's only those 3 weeks. It's not like
it is correct. Are we doing that right now? Do you want to take a tight end and then maybe grab May afterwards or whatever?
Let's take Warren now.
And then do you want to take Hunter's still there too.
I mean, we could end up with 7 receivers. Let's take Diggs. We could definitely end up with 7 receivers. Because it could be a 3-6-7-2 with Bowers and Warren. Do we really need a third tight end?
Probably not. No, I'd rather just take draft like we're right kind of ordeal. So let's just taking tight end off the board. It's done for us.
I think that makes sense. So especially we'll add just another buy that's not one of those 3, 10, 12, or 14 at receiver. So that way we'll always have 5 guys.
I'm not gonna lie, Steve. Now this is twice that we've been drafting tonight that you've passed on Travis Hunter. You were big Hunter guy. Are you off the Hunter train?
Not that I'm off him. It's just in this with all these receivers out there. It's a little not tough. I mean, I've taken them some in Badge Pros, but it's just not as a priority because I'm taking so many receivers early, and then I'm like hitting tight end and quarterback in this range. Look, if he's right here, I think taking him makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Huham says, where do you get your ideas? Who are you talking to? What are you referencing, Huham? Mike Ruff says 35 likes. Let's go. I'm not saying it seems like people watch Steve's episode more than mine, but the signs may be there. Keep up the likes and subs. Mama's downloading YouTube. LOL. She doesn't even have YouTube.
I love it, Eddie.
That's awesome. All right. Travis Hunter did come back.
May and Hunter.
May Hunter, get on our team. Okay, Hunter and Drake May, come on down. All right, so that puts us 2-5-7-2.
Yeah.
What do you want to do for another quarterback? Is there?
I think what you talked about earlier, Herbert.
You want to take Herbert? Okay. Oh yeah. Now that we don't have a 12, I'm good with that. And then running back.
I mean, he's there.
Oh my God, we're doing it again. Is there any other scroll down guys that you want to consider, or not because of how the team is? Like we may need some points.
I think we may need some points. This is a little less Probably if there was one scroll down, it would be Dylan Sampson, just betting on the Judkins thing being a pretty serious suspension. But
So no Phil Maffa is what you're saying.
no, not this
Okay.
time.
All right.
I mean, P. Ryan, I saw you just pass P. Ryan there.
Yeah. I'd rather take Phil Maffa than P. Ryan, to be honest with you. And that's a serious take. Everyone, take that to the bank. I'd rather draft Ollie Gordon as well.
I mean, I think Mason makes a lot of sense.
Oh, he went, by the way.
Well, if Mason comes back to us, I'd lean Mason.
Okay. I'll say Mason's interesting here to me. We can't take Charbonnet. Just trying to look at other guys that would be like home run hitters. Okay, it doesn't matter. Mason's there, so that's good. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this situation, we also could have made a guess on the Jaguar situation, whether it's ETN, Tootin, or Bigsby, or like Sampson. Those would be the other ones after like Scatterbo goes, and like say Mason had gone as well. And I think those are relatively decent scroll down options because they become very unique.
Remove Eckler from ranks. He may return kicks. Yeah, I don't think they have Eckler return a ton. I do honestly think they have JCM do that for them. I don't know if you remember last year watching a game where he returned a kick and got absolutely destroyed and was knocked out. I don't know Eckler wants to do that. Yeah, do you remember that?
No, it was the Giants game. And in fact, because of that, they won the game because Graham Gano got hurt on that play. And they didn't have a field goal kicker. So they went for two and missed multiple times.
Yeah. But I can just visually see Eckler running the ball and he just gets absolutely lit up. And yeah,
but no, Gano pulled his hamstring trying to run him down.
It's so funny. All right. So our team 3-6-7-2, Joe Burrow, Drake May, Justin Herbert. That feels a little unique because both these guys kind of scroll-ish downs at running back. I mean, what's left at running back? Prescott, Love. Yeah. So like feels a little unique. I like that. Marion Hampton pairing up there with Justin Herbert. Ken Walker, Travion Henderson, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Lamb, Neighbors, McConkey, Higgins, Sutton, Diggs, Travis Hunter. Look at that Travis Hunter fall for us.
Yeah,
that feels nice.
That's nice.
And then Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren, 2 Mackey Award winners for the win. Love it. Okay. And was anybody else in here with us? Oh, yeah. We had Boston George. Patrick, he went 3-7-6-1. Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, Justin Fields, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, Alvin Kamara, RJ Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, Tyron Tracy, and Cam Scatterbo.
Well, I mean, that's another thing to do to get all of one room. So you're right. You know, like if the Giants are, you should get any usable week from the Giants.
Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Xavier Worthy, Chris Olave, and then one tight end of Sam Laporta. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Laporta is a great tight end. I still probably would add a second tight end, just even if it only covers that bye week. I think it's going to be tough to advance with the 0 1 week, even if Laporta's tight end 1 this year, which he could be. But it's, get unique, have some fun. Oh, he said not true. So he probably took a tight end with didn't update.
Oh, duh. Who did you take? Because it never shows that shit.
He says he is Kincaid.
Oh, Kincaid. Okay.
And I feel a lot better about this team.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
All right. Chaz Michelson. Oh, wait, no. Was that the other one? Yes. Yeah. He's the other one that I know from the Twitter streets. Let's see what he did. 2493. Alan Daniels. Love that. Barkley, Henry, Taylor, Dobbins. I like top 3. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the top 3 are amazing.
They are.
But yeah, I'd probably want a little better 4th to go hyper fragile. But yeah, those 3 are as good as it gets.
Nico, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Jalen Waddle, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, Jaden Reed. Feels like I would have taken not Jaden Reed and would have took another running back personally.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hawkinson, Kraft, and Njoku.
Yeah. Or even like Njoku and throw a running back there, just because Hawkinson and Kraft is a pretty good 1-2 start.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you? How many 9 wide receivers? Honestly, like I probably would
Yeah,
have stopped after Debo and then would have grabbed at least one more running back.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting build. Two elites, hyper fragile running back room. It's unique. So there's definitely a positive there. But I think probably the toughest thing will be advancing out of the playoff, into the playoffs. If
Yes,
it gets
yes.
to the playoffs, I think it could be really fun because it's unique and there's a lot of receiver options to go along with those elite running backs.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah, definitely unique build. Fun build. All right. That is it for me.
All
Steve,
right.
I just want to show you one thing. Okay. I
Okay.
found one. I need one more before I get them to you and Meg. But do you know who this man is?
That's Cam Scattaboo.
Yes, it is. This is his first card. Came out from the Score hobby box. The first card that came out. I found one. I'm waiting on one more, and then you and Meg are getting these so that you can keep the first card from Cam Scattaboo.
Oh,
So
wow.
one
Well,
one more I need to find, and then I'll getting these out to you guys
thank
as
you.
his number one fan.
Well, thank you very much. No, that is awesome. And no, I'm obviously very excited for Scattaboo's future. So that is so cool. Thank you.
Of course, of course. All right, cool. Well, hey, I will get out of here. Steve, what are you going to be drafting?
I'm going to do a Husky and then
Okay.
maybe do another draft after that. So let me bring up my screen.
Well, people,
And
if you want, feel free to get in here with Steve. Obviously, if you're using the best ball rankings from us, you can go ahead and just get Steve on full tilt by taking every person he wants, and you know who that is, Cam Scattaboo. So I will get out of here. I appreciate everyone. I will see you guys all next week. Steve, best of luck in your remaining drafts.
yeah, no, thank you. You have a great night, Andrew, and I'll catch you later. All right. First, let me bring up Nonsense Media's comment. Would you give my team better rating knowing that I had Laporte and Kincaid, or does it still suck? Also, thoughts on 2 tight ends versus 3 for the listeners. Yeah, definitely. Knowing that you have a second tight end feels so much better about it, because to me, you just don't want to take a 0. Even if you had Bowers, I would not take a 0. So yeah, I think it's much more live now because the rest of the team was pretty strong, and generally I take only 2 tight ends. Rarely am I going to take 3, particularly if I'm getting like any tight end through Hawkinson as my number 1. Honestly, I've even done like Andrews and Ingram, or Andrews and I think Warren, and just stopped at 2 there. If I'm waiting later and maybe my first one's like, Ferguson or Goddard, then yeah, I'll take 3. But rarely am I taking 3 tight ends because I'd rather just tack on an extra running back. Sometimes I tacked on an extra quarterback, or definitely have tacked on another wide receiver. So we will get a draft shortly. Got just catching up on chat. Tim, that's really cool. Mega Green, that's amazing. And also, we'd hear you say you like TY scat combo. Yeah, I mean, and that's what the extra pick does. It allows you to do something like that, where, and that's why you only do 2 tight ends. So yeah. But no, that kind of combo can work. I wouldn't do it all the time, but I think it can be a fun, unique build. So I'm going to do start with the Husky, and then maybe we'll do something else afterwards. Let's bring this up, and I will enter at 9:46 p.m. Eastern time. My next Husky, done 5, well, a couple slows going, and then done a couple fasts. It's 40% filled already, but just to refresh people, it's 3 of 12, 2 of 8, 1 of 6, and we are at 9:46, so we are entering now. Glad I didn't have the location issue. Waiting on 5, so still room for people if they want to get in. It is a $40 contest, but it has $50K up top, $400 if you make the finals, really good advance rate, payout structure. I think it's a very positive ROI contest for users. It is, more expensive, but it's contests like this. One of the reasons why I'm not going to max the BBM. Yes, this is more expensive than the BBM price 25, but to me, the better advance rates, the better chance for payout. I know I have a much better chance in this getting 50K than in 2 BBMs, which that would be more expensive. That would be $50. So I'm willing to take that kind of trade-off. Let me catch up on. Got Whohames. You more likely go 2-6-8-2 in Husky. I still think I want 3 quarterbacks because yes, there's an extra spot, but I just don't. I want to make sure I'm advancing. Now the 2 tight ends, I'm very willing to do, just because tight ends contribute the least amount of points to your team in general. Even if you miss, you can in this format, you can take a 0-1 week and still advance. I think less so in like a Badge Bros. All right, let's see. We got Chaz Michael Michelson. We got Legion. Dr. B. Harris. I've seen him in other streams before. Not sure if he's in here. We got FK. We got Boston George in here. We got Lego. So this is going to be a fun friends and family draft. Appreciate everyone joining me for this. Hope everyone is doing well. We got Emo in chat saying, hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a good night, Emo. Just starting up a Husky draft here. We got Vaporware saying hi. How's it going, Vapor? Hope you're having a good night as well. But yeah, for me, I'm still going to be 3 quarterbacks pretty much all the time. I did a Husky earlier during the Badge Bros stream. My first 2 quarterbacks were May and Lawrence, and then I had some Colts. I had hoped to get like Darnold or Aaron Rodgers as my 3rd quarterback. That didn't pan out. And so I still took Daniel Jones, 18th round. Maybe Richardson's the guy all year, but maybe not. And if not, that I feel gives me more outs. The rest of the team was pretty well built. So there was some risks there, but to me, there's a risk with a lot of 18-round picks. So I had the 7th spot. Bijan goes first. That's definitely unique. So sort by ADP. 7. If anyone falls. Let's see. So Jefferson, Barkley, FK's on the clock. He takes Gibbs. McCaffrey goes, so I get Lamb. I will absolutely take that. Let me go to the board as we look, see how the rest of the first round goes. Whohames, after next weekend, we all ready for round 15 Turpin? I don't know if I am. Same here. Been off the whole BBM or die Badge Pro trap. Feels like there's way better tourneys to make money, and DK Millie has a lot of squares. I'm backing off maxing BBM. Just 1 year, and I made finals in a smaller tournament on first try. Yeah, no, congrats. And that's awesome. I think you mentioned that before. No, that exactly the point. And whether it's like the $4 Chihuahua or the $40 Husky, those are better advance rates. Chihuahua not near as much as Husky, obviously, but there's plenty. Like the German Shepherd, is really strong, and one where you even making playoffs, you double your money. So just better ROI. I know it's only 10K up top, but for $100 max entry, getting 10K is a good double or exponential amount on your investment. So up here we got Lamb, AJ Brown. Yeah, I think I'll go AJ Brown. mean, I definitely have Lamb, Taylor in a lot of things. I think I might even have him in a Husky. Might have been Chow Chow, but I'm pretty sure I don't have, and that's the slows going, so it's hard to check everything right now. But Lamb, AJ Brown feels good. Really strong receiver start. And, catch up at running back, obviously. How many Superflex drafts have you done on drafters? So I've only done like 2 fast so far. I got like 10 slows going. Gonna enter some more. Maybe later tonight I'll do 1 or 2 more fasts, get some more slows out there. That you can 150 max that. I'm not going to 150 max it, but I'm going to, I don't know, 50 teams, something like that is probably my goal on that tournament. Got a Barkley big dog starting Husky on JT Best Ball today. Nice. Of course, I dropped the baby. So you're still allowed to win. Sorry. Good seeing you, Dirty P. Hope you're having a good night. Coming up in a couple picks here. Lamar goes early, but I like that for these smaller field contests. Just go get your guys. And also, especially with the chase, they play each other, week 15, right? And so you get some correlation there. So I like that move a lot. So I will get my first running back here as much as I like Devontae Adams. Let me get Hampton. So 0-1-2 to start for me. We'll see what comes back to me at 40. Was that 42? I'm hoping someone in stream or hosting wins a bunch of contests. Hopefully W's all around. Manifesting. Appreciate that, Tim. No, and it would be fun to see some of these stream drafts take down a big tournament or two. And not just, yes, as a streamer, I hope it's me, but even if it's somebody from chat who's in the draft, would obviously be fun to see, to go back and look at it. And and that's why I love Underdog just releasing more and more tournaments. These last couple of weeks, so it's fun to just try different contests, try different things. There's been different styles with like the rookie sophomore, the Bros Brawl. They did their second Superflex a couple weeks ago. So hopefully there's more of all that coming forward. And I wouldn't be surprised because I didn't look, but the Chihuahua is like 60-some% filled, 70% filled. So I think maybe not tomorrow, but Friday we'll probably see some more contests come out. So both Daniels and Hertz go pretty early in this. Both in the third round. That's interesting. Nice pick by Cook. I would have taken him. I'm going to take Mike Evans. Third elite, potentially top 10 receiver. Really, really strong receiver room. This we'll see how the build plays out, but could be a 6 wide receiver build. Keep hearing the Herm Edwards press conference. You play to win the game soundbite in my head when we talk about friendly advance rates. I'm chasing that 2 million. Look, I get it. And I'm going to have, 75 teams for that. I get it, but it's just, I still think for the best of like maximizing one's portfolio, having more shots on these contests, especially the ones and mixing it up, but especially the ones that are still paying out 30, 50K, like the Pitbull $20 10 max entry, 100K to first, you have a much better chance at a 6-figure prize there than you do in the BBM. I'm not saying do 0 BBM, but I just would, generally, unless you can afford it, make it just a percentage of your bankroll, not the whole pie, just because those advance rates are so brutal. Even if you're so great in the first round, it can end really quickly. And in that case, you'll lose money. Where if you get a team through and even something like the mini schnauzer, the $3 mini schnauzer, the $5 German Shepherd, and win a 10K prize, for a lot of people, that's more than covering all their investment, and then some. The Ridley news, I'll take Alvin Kamara. I have a ton of them, but I will take them. I need a running back there. Yeah, and that's the thing, like 30K, 50K, even 20K, it's a good chunk of change. It's going to pay for all your contests and then pay for the next year, and exactly, Paulino, like you don't have to max to win. I believe the guy last year, I don't think he maxed. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did like over 100. I want to say he did like 110 or something like that, which still is a lot. I'm almost positive I heard he didn't max it. It's one of those things, like I said this, I think on my stream last night, I did 57 BBMs last year. I had a really great advance rate, 31%. So I advanced, what was that, 18 BBMs? I want to say, and this is, not shade, but I think that was the same number of teams like Chess Liam did with 150. And sure, he actually got 2 teams to the finals, but we both essentially had the same chance entering week 15. And of course, if I was in his camp as a previous winner, I'd absolutely be maxing it. So not saying anything, but it's like there's plenty of people who maxed it who didn't even come close to 18 entries. And, some had better success in the playoffs than I did. Some did not. But it's just one of those things, like I would just figure out what range you're good in and consider some of these other contests. I'm very high on both these receivers, so I will go. I'll go Ricky. And I know is a bit of a reach, but these guys are going up higher now, and that's where I have them ranked. And I just don't. For this $40 contest, I want the guys I want. I'm just low on Judy. Addison, the suspension is a factor. Of course, guys like Mixon and stuff like that, not taken. Yeah, that's what I thought. That was his first time playing BBM, and he had over 100. Yeah, it was like 110, maybe 120. Again, max. That Mathology guy and wild advance rate. Yep. Oh yeah, Huheems. I see him everywhere as well. And of course, yeah, once you hit it, just totally be in everything. I 100% would be doing the same thing. I mean, Addison coming back is interesting. Pacheco could go there. Golden. Don't hate Laporta at 79. Couple picks past CDP. Pollard also in downs. I think I will go Pacheco. I mean, getting better reports, just everything sounds like he's definitely going to be the lead back again. Somebody will work in with him, but I just feel better and better about it. So I've been taking him more. Huhames, I'm honestly taking a lot of Addison. Yeah, I mean, in general, I don't mind Addison, but I do in my head have him a little lower in something like a $40 contest like this. And I know you could make the counter argument, well, 3-12 advance, so you have a better chance. And that's fair. It's just for me, knowing that I'm missing 3 games from him, I can't ignore that in a contest like this. Because I think it showed him at like 7.5%. So I'm right around the field. And that, of course, doesn't include all my slow drafts. Sometimes keeping it simple is the winning formula. Stacking Joe Burrow should be no brainer. You look at us now complaining about price tag. Yeah, no, I agree, Dirty P. Yeah, we just saw Joe Burrow win a guy, what was the prize last year? $1.5 million, $2 million, whatever it was. And yeah, people complain about it. We got our guy Chad Candles in here. Steve, our king, smash the like. Appreciate you, Chad. Always love your morning streams. And we are up into Hawkinson. I do need to start finding quarterbacks. Yeah, Mayfield went, unfortunately. I will take Hawkinson. I just don't have a ton of Trey Harris. We'll go Hawk here. And, to what Huhames asked before, when I have Hawkinson, a lot of times I will stop at 2 tight ends. So maybe that allows me to add a, 6th running back or an 8th receiver if I need to, though obviously I'm very strong to start there. We got Chris in here. Don't gas chat up too much. Hope you're doing well. You are were you in this draft? Yeah, you're in this draft. That's right. And I know you were in the one earlier. You're in the 10th spot. Nice. All right, let me go back to the board. Yeah, my 2682 was Jaden Kyler, McBride Ertz. Yeah. No, I mean, especially Corley like that. That's really, really good. So, and I do think it, like 2 quarterbacks, if you take Jaden, just as we talked about with Andrew doing the Chihuahua, like, yeah, if I did Allen Hurts, I'd still probably consider doing just 2, or like Jaden Kyler. I get it there. Let's see, where are we at? Coming up in 4 picks. Need to start figuring out a quarterback. There's a couple options here. I mean, Trey Harris comes back. I like that because I am much higher than him. As you see, I'm at 93. But I need a quarterback, and Brock makes sense. Yeah, we will take Brock, get my first quarterback. I love the 49ers offense potential this year. Oops, star method burned me. Oh, let's see what Legion did. Taking Michael Pittman. I'm guessing, or no, you took McCarthy early. That's what I'm guessing. You mean with the star method? Yeah. Yeah, and good to know. I'm really glad I got Purdy, because in my head I was thinking, well, if I don't get Purdy, I could always get McCarthy probably on the way back. So very good to know. I did not pay attention to that looking at the board. I was looking at chat at the time. So coming right back around. Chris did take Scadaboo. That was obviously on my short list, but I totally understand it. Quarterback's gotten a little more thin than I like, especially not having the J.J. McCarthy out. I'll take Bateman. Obviously can't stack him, but a good fifth receiver. Really strong here, but yeah, my other quarterbacks might not be the most stacked guys. We'll try and find something that works. Did you ever watch the ESPN show Playmakers? It sounds familiar, but I cannot place it right now. How high are you moving up A-Ridge? I put him at 165. So tonight I'm working on rankings. Haven't gotten that far down yet. I don't know if I doubt I'll move him up to 165, just because, he's got spike week potential, but I still think his chance to start all 17 is pretty thin. So I don't know, maybe like 180-ish, somewhere in that ballpark, kind of right around where his ADP is going right now. I don't know if I want to get too far ahead of that. It's at 188 right now. So yeah, if I put around 180, that feels decent. So coming up in a couple of picks. We will take Trevor Lawrence. Quarterback is getting thin, but there are options to backstack him at least. Yeah, not loving that situation right now. I mean, Purdy and Lawrence, I'm bullish on Lawrence and the Jags this year, but obviously prefer to stack him with Hunter or BTJ. 165 would be like a 70 spot jump for Steve. I already moved him up slightly, but yeah, I'm going to move him up more. If he shows any signs of improvement, that will ride him to death. Yeah, maybe. But I do think they are kind of coaching for their jobs. And I think they're also coaching, like, it's if he's improving, but they're losing, or if he's improving, but all their wide receivers are, not doing well because, the offense is just still not fully clicking. Like, improvement for him, he completed 50% of his passes last year. So is improvement 60%? Because that'd still be like worse than the league. I guess that's the question. Like, sure, if he's he's completing 65% of his passes and we're still getting the deep balls and we're still getting, the good runs and his interception rate goes down. Sure, I agree. But he could just improve and just be very below average overall. I will go. I'm just going to pull up Rashard White. I want a running back I have some faith in. Javonte Najee right now and Trey Benson. Ray Davis I had a little bit, but felt I needed something with a little bit more certainty. And I do want to get my MIM share up a little bit. Not necessarily sure I want it in this contest. And I'm pretty strong at receiver. I do like the ADP fall. Could look at any position coming up here. Definitely going to be moving likely down. We'll be interested to see where he falls in this draft. This is not a range I love, that's for sure. I think, assuming he gets back to me, I'm just going to take my stack and second tight end. Probably be done at tight end with Brenton Strange. And then we will get back to chat, see where what everyone's thinking. Yeah, it's a little ahead of ADP, but I'll get my guy. And I feel good about the other rooms. Let's go back to the board and then can Average last more than 3 games without getting hurt? That's and that's the other thing. I mean, we also have to hope his attitude, like he's not going to pull himself out of any games and lose the locker room again. Which last year, I mean, there were some reports that came out that wasn't the first time. Like the way he handled his injury the year before, I know there was some like bad blood with the team with that. So a lot of ways that he could fall. I guess to just get above the Jake Locker line. Yeah, that is like the Mendoza line of quarterbacks. It's crazy that when you draft A-Rich and Deontay Johnson, then not only do you have to worry about coaches taking them out, you have to worry about them just benching themselves for the hell of it. Yeah, that's a fear that pretty much nobody else has. So probably looking at maybe a 3-6-7-2 build. That's what my guess I'm looking at. Don't think I would take an A-Rich. This is not even my most updated ranks. I have them already above that. I'm going to just grab Rodgers. I want a third quarterback. I don't want to miss out on quarterback here. I know it's well above ADP, but that's kind of around where I have my rankings for him. And just to me, wasn't sure if he would make it back. Sometimes it's wild. Like sometimes I've seen him go early. There was a draft last night. I saw him go, I think, undrafted. I got a lot of MIMs before his ADP rise, but also a lot of Pat Bryant just in case, a little hedge. Yeah, no, I think that's a good play. I want to take, and for that reason, because MIMS is falling now some, I want to take some MIMS to hedge off my Bryant. So, yeah, right now I'm seeing at 3-4-5-2. You know, maybe I could always tack on a third tight end to stack Rodgers. Could take like a Calvin Austin for an 8th wide receiver. Or if it's an unstacked Rodgers just to help me advance, I'm okay with that in this format as well. Likely just went one pick before me at 177. Yeah, he went in the draft I just did with Andrew in the Chihuahua, I think 177. So yeah, that's probably the range where I'm going to drop him to in the rankings. Here he goes 161. I mean, that's already getting like a 20 spot savings. And, you know, I'm a little hesitant that he'll be ready for week 1, but even if it's not week 1, if he's ready early in the year, he probably doesn't need to fall too much. The 170 range is, I think, a fair spot for him. So coming up into the 15th round, got to get definitely one more running back, definitely 2 more receivers, and then we'll kind of see what the last pick, what I do with it. That Jonnu pick is tempting, as is Ertz. I will take Braylon Allen, though. 12, 11, 10, 9. So just a 1 week 9. I think that's a solid running back room. I'm probably good at 5 there. I could always add a 6. Like I said, that last pick will be a wild card pick for me. Because, I mean, my first 4 receivers are exceedingly strong. I mean, I've waited a long time since Bateman, but with these guys, outside of the 1 week where 2 of them are in bye, I feel really good about the receiver room. Yeah, no, I had a draft last night where I had taken 3 quarterbacks, and I think I took Darnold right around ADP, and it ended up Rodgers coming back. And the reason I chose Rodgers there is just, you know, I've had a draft like the Badge Bros draft I was in earlier. I was trying to not push Rodgers, but just get him kind of around his ADP, and he went like 5 picks ahead of it. So right now he is a wild range. I will lean Slayton over Diami in with the stack. I think Slayton's clearly the number 2 in New York and fits well for what what Russ does well, and even Dart to an extent. I think Jonnu is an absolute steal at this ADP. Yeah, I completely agree. I think Prime is to steal at his ADP. I think both guys are going to get plenty of work. I do think it. Yeah, and I think it prevents either one from likely being a top 5 tight end, because Jonnu obviously was very much in that mix last year, and Freiermuth was a top 10 himself, or top 12. But I think both could be top 15. At A, I think they stabilize and win it. Yeah. We got our guy Spread in here. What's going on, Spread? Hope you're having a good night. Hope you're doing well out in Cali. So, yeah, we will. 2 more picks to go. Probably will take just the receiver first. And then I'll see if I feel like there's a value at whatever position. Nice. Good to hear. So I will do another draft after this. I was probably going to do a Chihuahua, mix it up. So we will do that. We'll take a look at the teams in here. real quick and then jump into that. So receiver, not sure I went Keenan on this. 2-2 MVS Cooks. This is my rankings. Yeah, Kevin Austin went. I'll go Ray. Just a safe floor guy in this type of contest. That's kind of what I feel like I need with the upside. Honestly, the first 6 receivers provide. Just give me a floor guy, fill in for any bye weeks. I'm not expecting much from him. But now we can just see what value is there. Not a quarterback. So whatever running back, receiver, or tight end gets back to me, we will go that route. Definitely a few names stand out. Judkins went off the board at 164 in an earlier Husky. I couldn't take him. I couldn't take another running back. It was a Barkley Henry team, so I'm saying they're still out at that price. Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I mean, that price, I think you definitely have to consider it. But it's, I know Haslam said he believes he will sign and play with us this year. Not exactly the most ringing endorsement. I do worry it ends up being more than even 6 games. Even if that's what the max suspension could be, I could see them using the commissioner's list as they investigate. I mean, if anything's broken in the last couple of hours, let me know. But as from what I've seen, it does not sound good. So Taj went, but Rashard Smith's there. Jarquez Hunter's there. Kate Otten. I think I'll go running back. I can go Rashard Smith. I mean, Otten is definitely in consideration. That's a hella good 18th round pick, in my opinion. But I'd rather have more insurance at running back than in getting Pacheco and Smith. I'm kind of bullish on Kansas City's offense this year. I think they take a big step back, maybe not to the extreme levels they were a couple years ago. But as Huheim well knows, it sounds like Josh Simmons is, he's healthy enough to fight his own team. But no, he's healthy enough to play. And that's a huge, huge upgrade for them. Zay Flowers sent home today? Okay, I missed that. Interesting. I had not seen anything on that. So when this gets done, I will go into, well, actually, I can just read from here because nobody we're talking about is in the one spot. So overall, my team, I think, is fine. I think I'm good at tight end. Running back, probably the thinnest on, and I feel good about adding the 6th guy there. Receiver, I'm really strong. And quarterback, 3 guys, 2 stacked up. I think pretty decent overall. But that's going to be a tough room. We got Chaz Michelson in here. 2, 6, 8, 2. Lamar Burrow, Ken Walker, Chuba, Dobbins, Stevenson, Tank, Miles Sanders. That's a very strong room, especially if you're right on like Bigsby and Sanders. That room could be for waiting till pick 47. That could end up a very strong room. And the receivers: Chase Hill, Reed, Palmer, Tillman, Thielen. That's my guy. De'Ami Brown, Yusovis. I mean, it's part of your stack, which I didn't even talk about the quarterback. I mean, you got 2 of the top 5 quarterback and getting the Burrow fall. Yeah, that with Chase feels really good. And then Andrews. So yeah, Lamar and Burrow stacked up nicely. Arroyo is another tight end. Love that upside. And I like how because you focus on quarterback early, some elite receivers, even an early tight end, yet your running back room does not feel bad. Maybe only 2 like clear-cut starters, though potentially 4. But Dobbins and Stevenson should have plenty of usage as well. So I like the way that was constructed. We got Paul in here, and let me know if I missed you, because like I recognize the name Dr. Harris, but I'm not sure if he's in the chat. JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Joe Flacco, then Bucky, Dylan Sampson, Garendo, Ford, Rico, Taj, Jordan James. So definitely a hero running back build. You have the Cleveland room. You have San Francisco, Carolina, Cincinnati backups. Probably and truly the 49ers backups. So you're probably going to need an injury or 2 on one of those teams to like kind of get you through, even if, and of course, even the Cleveland thing could get murky if Judkins does come back. But if it's one of those things like late in the year, you could be struggling if these other teams don't have any injuries in front of them, and Judkins is back. But that'd be the only concern there. Of course, Jefferson, J-Mo, Moore, Judy, Addison, double tapping there. And I know you said, you took McCarthy earlier than you wanted, but added 2 other quarterbacks and Flacco. Yeah, you're making a big Cleveland bet here with Judy and McBride Ingram. Yeah, no, that's a great tight end room. But yeah, you threw volume at running back. If some of those things go right and they play a little bit more, it could pan out for sure. We got our guy FK in here. And he went 2.583. Allen Richardson. So he went in on Richardson. Gibbs, Brown, Warren, Benson, Hill, Worthy, Metcalf, Jacoby, Shakir with the stack, Burden, Kirk, QJ, Pierce, Kelsey, Gesicki, Higbee. Yeah, I mean, overall, good team. There's I'm sure there's risk here with if Richardson is now. I know your hope is, of course, he's starting quarterback at least through week 7. But the other risk spot I'd say is tight end, where week 10 you could take a 0 if Higbee is, or like 2 points if Higbee has lost his role to Ferguson. So there'd be some worry there. I like the receiver room, the depth there. Running backs are good. But yeah, as long as Richardson plays basically the whole year, then that quarterback room could be fire. Got Boston in here, Goff, Herbert, Stroud, James Cook, Caleb, Mixon, QJ. So he got him at 137. Javonte. Oh, that was a big fall on Javonte. I know he's been falling, but I haven't really seen it that big. So I like him there. Like, I don't like Javonte in the 120s. If I can take Javonte in the 150s, I'll take more of them. Roshan, JCM, receivers, Neighbors, McConkey, Marv, Olave. So really strong start. And then you tack on a couple guys late, Nolan Lambert, and had them part of stacks. And then Laporta likely there's a risk here, but of course Laporta can be carrying you. So I don't mind going 2 even with likely. But yeah, I mean, really threw volume at the running back room, but took some riskier guys. So I think even though you started with, Cook and Johnson, because your next 2 guys are Mixon and Judkins, and they're a little, they could be great picks, or they could just unfortunately be bad picks, even at where you got them. But so I think you still had to add volume. So you're at least protected there, especially if they miss significant time early, which definitely appears to be the case for Judkins. We got Chris in here, 2682, Mahomes, Caleb, Hall, Scatterboo, Algier, Naj, and nice fall there. Again, if he's going in the 150s, 160, I'll take that. Mitchell and Woody Marks, and then Nico, London, Rasheed Rice. So not much of a fall in Rice. I'm surprised and I know they haven't finalized the suspension yet, but I'm surprised we haven't seen even greater fall, because he was, I mean, sometimes he'd get pulled up early second round, but he was typically going between pick 20 and 24. So you're getting a little, like a round and a half on that. Ridley, Adunze, Mooney, Dubs, Jalen Royals. So at least you're kind of countering some of the Rice situation. And then Loveland, Henry. But no, in strong room. I mean, once Rice gets back, this receiver room is fire, particularly if Mooney's not injured early. And the running backs, it's kind of thin behind Hall and Scatterboo. But, Algier's fine. Naj at that value is great. Maybe Mitchell has more usage. So I think that was everyone in here. I'm going to catch up in chat, and then we will jump into a final Chihuahua. I'm expecting check-ins to be available after their bye, week 10. How would you feel about that? So, in the 160s, or 140s, 150s, 160s, yeah, sure. But if that would be a long, suspension / commissioner's list. That's a lot of time missed. It's going to be tough to, I think you need to have plan out the rest of your running backs very well. Maybe have 6 running backs, just be very covered, because that's a lot of weeks missed that you just know going in. And I can't think of many other guys who, if somebody else were to get injured and they said they're going to miss the first 2 months, and I know it can be a little different coming back from an injury, but anyone else, let's say he was going in the 70s, wide receiver, tight end, running back, where would they fall if you tell them they're missing 2 months? Like if this Mooney thing, who was going late 70s, early 80s, if they came out and said he'd missed the first 2 months, I mean, he would plummet all the way down to at least 160. So there, yeah, that's fine. But too much more than that is going to be tough. Z Flowers and some other guys have camp type things that you need to not go out on the field with. So he'll be back in a few days, Coach. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Lambert is an interesting guy. I don't know if I would feel as good about him in something like this, a $40 contest. I'm a fan of Lambert, and it would not surprise me if he ended the year as challenging QJ for the number 3 role. There is a contingency to get running back, because I might not be looking at 2 goose eggs. Yeah. I didn't expect multiple quarterbacks to go 20-plus spots ahead of ADP, but always the risk with waiting. Yep. That can be a risk. McCarthy auto pick 3 rounds early made me get weird. Yeah. No, that happens. The original plan was to take A-Rod or Darnold, but both went very early, so I sort of got stuck. At that point, I'm just taking 2 quarterbacks. So one interesting thing, FK, and I didn't pay attention to the draft. I assume, I could look at it. So it looks like Daniel Jones didn't get taken at all. Were you even considering taking Daniel Jones with this Higbee pick and just saying, I got the Colts quarterback? Because I think I would, looking at the team, I would like it better than, I know you're taking the 0 with one of those guys every week. But I guess just because, to me, Richardson is just on such thin ice and has such an injury history. I just worry about losing him at some point, even if he does play better. Yeah, love the Restrepo buzz. Yeah, no, that's been positive buzz all week. Can hardly wait to see how bad the Snipes get after listening to Sacrilegious on Deposit Kingdom with Pete. Did I miss? Did he have any big tout on anything, or is that coming up? I still need to check out that. Yeah, I thought I saw he did the episode, but I haven't watched it. Maybe over for 6-7 Bro. And I mean, I tend to agree. I know Who Hames and I have talked about it. He takes Burrow still at the 4-5 turn, like 25% of the time. And honestly, I've started doing the same thing because it's just not always worth it. Like the player that you get over Burrow, with the 5th round pick versus who you're getting when it comes back around, is that worth it? I just don't know. Honestly, like for me, I think if I take Higgins up, like at, with the third, whatever the 3rd or 4th spot is, I'll push him back because I know, I'm not going to get sniped by like a chase team. But I feel like the push is better if the Higgins drafter is not the same as the chase drafter, if that makes sense. FK, blame Legion for scaring the room. Yeah. I got crossed up and was actually considering that move. I'm sort of okay trusting Allen to carry me with 3 advance, but maybe a leak in how I draft. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, we've all had teams that, as I said last year, I had a couple 2 quarterback teams where Dak gets hurt, and for mostly and including I missed out on a player's bye. It's like Dak and Lamar or Dak and Allen. Now I had some teams that didn't advance because I took a 0 for that bye week. So, it's a risk, and the 3 of 12 does give you another out. So if it's just you missed out by like 10 points, you'll still probably advance with the 3 of 12. No, those are streams I go back. I don't typically watch as they come out. I'll just go back and watch later. Huheim says he does it 33% of the time. Mostly just matters who is left. Like if I can get James Cook, I take him. Yeah. Steve out here prepping for the 24-hour live stream with the marathon. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to try and do more and more longer shows. And this just made sense. I was already coming on with Andrew. I'm just keep the train moving. I was pushing Burrow earlier. I probably will, at some point do a 6-hour stream just by myself, or maybe like have a guest on for some of it. I was pushing Burrow earlier. I figured that he followed a 6-7 turn earlier around this point in the season. It doesn't look like I was right. Burrow 4-5 it is. Yeah. I just think my thing is we just saw this combo win last year. I'm fine going back. I do push it a fair amount. But like I said, I like pushing it more with Higgins when I'm in the driver's seat in getting him back in that 6th round. Then I'm more okay. If the chase drafter passes at 4-5, and this was different obviously because Chase went here, but let's say I take Higgins in one of these spots, 3, 4, 5 in the 2nd round, and then the chase drafter doesn't take him in here, then I'll let him come back, and then in the 6th round I'll just pop Burrow, at 68, 69, 70. I feel better about pushing there. Like if I'm at the 101 and I've Chase, I'll just take it. And a lot of times I'll just take Higgins as well, just totally go all in. All right, I'm going to jump into the next draft and then we'll get back to chat. I'm going to do a Chihuahua. Let's see where it's at. It is filling, I know, is at 65%. So I will jump in at 10:42 p.m. Eastern time, and as soon as it hits 10:42. So yeah, I've done slows, but I've done a few fast. So we will enter at 10:42, which should hopefully be any second. And the worst part about waiting is it's hard to talk because you don't want to start a topic without entering right at the time. Always feels like the longest minute ever. And still going. There we go. Entering the Chihuahua 2. And 6 people to go. So plenty of room for anyone who wants to jump in. Let me catch up more chat. I set up the burrow in the 4th before with Chase Drafter, my Husky, but Jaden fell. That's always nice as well. Bengals Cardinals combos are so highly owned. I kind of just got used to not doing. Might regret that like 22 weeks from now. Yeah, and honestly, I don't always take McBride or Harrison there because I'd rather just bet on the Bengals. Like, look at what LeGrew did last year. He just bet on the Bengals, bet on the 49ers, had massive team stacks, no bringbacks. I know he had other lineups that had those bringbacks. But I feel it's totally okay to just say, I'm going to bet on the Bengals. And this is going to be a great offense. And sure, maybe McBride or Harrison is the bringback, but maybe it's Connor, maybe it's just Murray. And he's actually the quarterback you need. So that's the other thing is sometimes I do that stack where I stack up the Bengals and then I take Murray. If like Burrow gets sniped for me, then I pivot to a Murray pick. Doesn't always fall at ADP, so that can be tough at times. So I got the 6th spot. I see Boston and Legion in here, and that looks like it. I appreciate everyone jumping in draft. Of course, liking this episode, commenting. Appreciate all of it. We are coming up in 2 picks. Yeah, we will get one of the Dukes running backs and be happy with that start. Once again, 2nd draft in a row, seeing Bijan going ahead of Chase. It's interesting. I mean, at this time last year, we definitely saw pretty even between Lamb and McCarthy. So far, it's been Chase has dominated the 101. So we will take Barkley. Let's go back to the board. I had a team with only Dak and T-Law, no quarterback for a month to make the playoffs. Yeah, I had that 2 years ago when there was just so many quarterback injuries, like Burrow. God, so many quarterbacks got injured that year. Cousins. I had a team I remember I had like Burrow, Cousins, somebody else who got injured, and it made the playoffs because I was just so far in first. But yeah, totally dead on arrival once you get to the playoffs. But still nice. Honestly, those are still nice to advance. You're still helping your ROI. So I'm not going to, it's just bad luck that everyone got injured. Sack was on Deposit Kingdom earlier today talking about where the Sims are guiding him in his overall strategy. Definitely worth a listen. Yeah, I would definitely have to catch up on that one. Badge Rose Creations. Good seeing you in here. No, this is a Pomeranian. A Chihuahua. I did a couple of Badge Bros earlier with Andrew. I think the Sims are taking a bit too far, but I suppose that only proves that I'm not a bot. Yeah, I will have to listen. Feel free if you want to elaborate any more and talk about it. And my Husky drafting, now I took Allen in 3rd, but Burrow fell to 6, couldn't pass up on. And I definitely don't hate that. You increase your chances of getting one of those top 3 spots, and then you have 2 just massive upside plays for all the playoff weeks. So this is a fall on Brian Thomas. I don't know why, but I will take it. can say I don't think I have Barkley Brian Thomas. Barkley and I did have one. I don't think it's kind of so interesting. Well, I'll take another one. So, coming up in a couple picks. Definitely a few names I would be more than happy to get. Pre-flow, nice. Sorry for anyone who got in too early. We are not going to take Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go Josh Allen. I mentioned this in the draft I was in with Andrew and his Chihuahua as well. But Allen, Barkley, getting that week 17 correlation. Also just getting, two of the alpha scorers in the league. That's why I have pretty decent percentages of the elite quarterbacks. Allen and Lamar, I'm like 8-9%, and then 13 for Jaden, 10 for Hurts, 9 for Burrow. Anytime you have the ability to have, top 3, top 5 guys at a position, and I feel like, potentially even Brian Thomas can be a top 5 guy. So it's a fun way to build early. That's what I do as well, Steve. Often I'm taking one of Higgins or Chase Brown, then something else a little different. Yeah. Let's get it, fellas. Yeah, good seeing you. Always good seeing you. Always appreciate you jumping into these drafts. With Pickett set to miss extended time, what are the odds do you place starting all 17 games? Yeah, I'm doing my rankings tonight, and I thought about that earlier. Like, I think with Pickett being hurt, and again, I haven't seen a clarification, just that he's expected to miss time. But it does absolutely improve the odds, because I don't think they turn to Gabriel or Shador unless they show some functionality. Right now, Shador isn't even getting any one reps with the ones. Wow. Jaden and Hurts falling back. I don't feel like I can do it, obviously. You know what? Let's be unique. I'll do Hurts just for the team correlation and the week 17 correlation. I hate passing on Jaden there, but and I know with Andrew, right, we got Hurts at more of a value. But this is for a smaller dollar field tournament. If I can get through into the playoffs, I think you end up with a very fun roster. Probably going with one of these three, hoping one of these three make it back. They obviously all could go. And then we'll get back to chat. So, yeah, this will be one of my, 2 quarterback builds. I don't do it often. Yeah, taking Allen and Hurts, and none of them make it back. Well, that's fun. We will take Waddle. Definitely would have loved it better with one of those 3 receivers. All right, let's catch up more. Focusing mostly now just on BBM, weekly winners, lone air, and sprint, also DK. Doing most of the side stuff. Oh, I get it. Eddie. Yeah, and that's, you know, that's what's nice about Underdog is them having so many different formats, so many different contests out there. You know, it's definitely good that you can get the types of contests that you want. I need the number 2. I can't stop clicking neighbor's headline. Neighbor's toe scares me. I have him. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not too worried about Neighbor's injury yet, but it bears watching, of course. Do you ever co-draft teams with the parents? Not co-draft. I mean, you know, they definitely use our rankings and listen to the show, and we'll, you know, pick Meg and I's brain about like who we like and that kind of thing. But we haven't like done a full like co-draft. You know, they do most of their drafts slow, which is definitely much more their pace, especially now with the 20-second, even 30-second clocks in the past. They were not big fans of. So yeah, I know my dad's done at least 1 or 2 20-second clocks. I don't think he appreciates the quick clock. Damn, Barkley and BGA, nice man. Yeah, no, I like that build. How did you get that? Me, that would be me. Yeah, so you pulled up Brock and JT. I see. Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that. Well, no, I mean, and that is the thing. Like in these, get unique, get different, get some new exposures. Debo went. We'll go running back here. We'll take Harvey. And short version is that the Sims are leading him to play BBM as you play Superflex. Win the onesies, win the flex with running back or double elite tight end and pump wide receiver. I mean, look, it's not entirely wrong. And, you know, it shouldn't just be the Sims thing. I mean, honestly, like Sam Sherman did this report 2 years ago. You know, Michael Leone talked to him about it, and it's about the running backs just scoring more. And I do think that's how you win your flex. And I think what I typically do, like this is a little different, but what I do sometimes is I'll do more like hero wide receiver, like wide receiver in first or second, and then just hammering running back, elite quarterback, maybe elite tight end, typically if it's Kittle. And then get back to receiver and just take depth, take 8 guys, particularly if I've done an elite tight end and it can stop at 2, or even just like 2 mids. Because the receivers get way more flatter than people realize. Excuse me. Don't love this range. I will go. Still take Golden over Shakir. There's other ways to stack up Allen if need be. And, you know, it's one of those things like just down the board, you know, even in this range, like Aaron Jones and Josh Downs. Aaron Jones, I mean, a lot will depend on touchdowns, but the number of running backs here that are going to outscore these receivers is high. Like now, Godwin could be an exception if he comes back and plays like he did last year. He's definitely going way too low. But in, you know, I use the Zay Flowers, you know, as kind of like the measuring stick. But Tony Pollard in this, they scored roughly the same points last year, points per game. It was like 10.9 or I'm sorry, 10.1, I think it was. And Tony Pollard goes 20 picks later in in a position that has less total people, that doesn't make sense. Like, and if the people who just take receivers straight down the board are playing Zay Flowers as their flex, they're not playing him as their 1, their 2, or their 3. They're playing him as their flex. So why would you not be wanting to play Tony Pollard as your flex and you're drafting him 30 picks later, 25 picks later? So I do like it's just that receiver range. There's so many guys who can get around 10 points. And it's just, you can just find those guys throughout the draft. We will go. Boy, I do not like this. I don't want to get too far behind at running back. I'll take Mason. Take Mason here. I don't think like fully punting. I have been in lobby with Zach and he had Jaden Reed as wide receiver 1. Yeah, that's where I think it's a little too extreme waiting that long. And especially like a guy like Reed. Now, if it's somebody who, for instance, if you started your wide receiver room with like a Stephon Diggs, who could just be grossly undervalued. I mean, he was a top 12 wide receiver basically every year of his career for the last 7 years, including last year at the time he got injured. He's just going so late because of the injury. There I see it a little bit more. Like Reed, I just don't know if Reed has that kind of upside. But I think there's ways to do it to, wait on receiver a bit more. Honestly, I like being kind of balanced like I'm doing here. Like, I feel good about running back. I feel good about receiver. Do I feel great about either? No. I feel great about quarterback. I definitely spent way more capital than I typically do for this unique build. But that's kind of the way I like to play it out more. But I like having a third running back that I can count on, like a guy like Jordan Mason. And, for me, tight end, I still think late round tight end is pretty feasible, or, mix of mid and late round tight end. I take early sometimes, but generally, I think now I do think Mark Andrews is going to start to move up. But the fact that you're getting him at 106 just felt like a steal. That's why, I'm over the field there. And Warren Kraft, I really like that pocket of tight ends. But yeah, I just think the market just clearly overvalues receivers. And for instance, I know Hayden Winks pointed out like receivers drafted in the 3rd and 4th rounds have just been, it's been terrible. Maybe it's 3rd through 5th rounds, at least 3rd and 4th rounds have been just terrible every year. And yet this year, more receivers are drafted in that range than ever before. So just, people say the market adjusted this year. I don't know if it's adjusted enough. And it's not to say I'm not one to totally be out on receiver early. I think there are some great values in the first couple rounds, but I just think you have to find the right pockets for them. And a lot of it, and this goes to my exposures, is why I'm like lower on a guy like Garrett Wilson or lower on a guy like JSN, is I think it's much harder for them to exceed where their ranking is. Don't want to go Dobbins with Harvey. I will go Tucker Kraft. So let me get back to chat. Talked about that for a while, but always happy to talk about it. I just think it's interesting. And I also just do find it funny that it's like, oh, now the Sims are showing, but it's like that data has been out there. And, Sam Sherman really hammered it home a couple years ago. Always my pleasure dancing with you in the draft room, brother. Well, appreciate that as well. Bone Shipper in the overflow. Nice, Paulino. Man, so much value in DK Millie, so many squares. Yeah. Yeah, DK Millie is, and the draft rooms can just be wild there. I do some of those, but far from my core strategy, and the Sims may only be as good as the rankings that are leveraging. And I think that's the big thing. Like if you do it with the right receivers and the right combos, yeah, it can pay off. Do I want to go Kincaid? I think I'd rather a receiver than Kyle Williams. I'm just less bullish on Kincaid. And if I'm only, I think I'm only going to, we'll see if I stop at two tight ends. I'm definitely stopping at 2 quarterbacks. Let's see what comes back. Since finding those late guys like Pop, Wandale, Ray, Josh Reynolds. I mean, some of those are true. I mean, look at last year, guys like Slayton, Tolbert, and plenty of others late. I mean, some who weren't even drafted, like Alec Pierce, not drafted at all, absolutely trounced. So many receivers above him. But even like more like the guys who were drafted in the 14th, 15th, 16th rounds last year, guys like Bateman, guys like Jalen McMillan, guys like Thielen, absolutely smash their ADPs. So we are seeing more of those. We're not seeing necessarily those types of receivers finishing, in the top 5 like we did a couple years ago with running back. I mean, we did a couple years ago with receiver with Puka as well, but we are seeing more mid and late. And also last year, the mid pocket of receivers was tremendous. Like guys like Ladd, JMO, like say around 7 through 10, Sutton, a lot of Judy, definitely a handful of others that absolutely smash. I'm on the clock. I should be paying more attention. You know what? We will go Kincaid. So I think people don't give enough credit for what that mid-tier of receiver, like Shakir was another great value in the mid-tier. That mid-tier receiver has actually done really well, particularly last year, but even last couple of years. BTJ was another one. Kirk was going above him, and BTJ was like for a long time 7th, 8th round, and he moved up a little at the end. But yeah, I just think you can find more value in those rounds than people give it credit for. Yeah, I guess I should say. But I do think it comes down to finding the right ones. And this year's a little different just because, one, we have some injuries in that range now. Mooney, Pittman, a couple other guys. I'm not taking Ayuk in that range. But yeah, I think as long as you get the right types of players that can work out, I just wouldn't do it without having a game plan in place and kind of like FK said, like correct rankings. I've been in elite draft rooms or limb draft rooms with Zach. We're just taking Bowers, McBride, Kittle, and I think they were just throwing wild stuff at the Sims to collaborate it. Yeah, that's an odd one with the limb because sure you should typically have the top tight end, but you're going to be way behind at another position. Boy, Goddard. You know what? Since I'm only going 2 quarterbacks, let me take a falling Goddard. It's a stack. Really building out. If this team gets to the finals, I have this Bills-Eagles game covered decently well. And I just I don't need a quarterback. Didn't really love the running backs there. I could have pulled somebody up. In fact, let me take quarterback off. Well, let me not take tight end off. Just running back and receiver going forward. Let me catch up more with chat. I feel like people aren't concerned enough about Najee's eye. Still not practicing. Look, he is falling generally. So I think there is concern from what I've seen, most doctors think like it makes sense. Like, why rush him back? He's a veteran. Now if it gets to be another week and he's not back, I think that becomes a different story. Yeah, some of the responses from Harbaugh were a bit weird. Plan on listening to that on the way to work tomorrow. Yeah, I'll have to listen to it as well. Man, I had 0 mixing all summer, including pre-draft. I auto-clicked him as soon as he hits 20 picks past ADP. Feels so good. Yeah, no, he's falling, and I've taken him a couple times late. Please do listen. I don't want to misrepresent. It's too nuanced for chat. No, I appreciate that. I will listen. And I'm not knocking it. I think there's ways to do it. We'll go Eckler here. I do need to start getting more on Douglas. I just worry about his lack of touchdown upside in this offense. He did 3 last year, which is fine if he did that again. I just don't know if he will with Diggs and Kyle Williams. Also love Hawk, 2 years removed from the knee. Aside from being a tier breaker, we also have a redshirt rookie quarterback starting that normally equals feed the tight end. Yeah, I agree. And, Hawk, like, he had no touchdowns last year. If he had 3 or 4 touchdowns, he had decent, targets, catches, yards. He just didn't get in the end zone. If he had 3 or 4 touchdowns, I think we'd be drafting him a little higher. On the $9 DK slow, I started with Barkley, AJ, Hurts, then Burrow. Nice Eagles-Bengals stack. Yeah, no, that's fun. Let's see, I'm up in a couple of picks. I find it funny that Sack was pitched on the show as an expert who's done 1,000 drafts, and then Sims taught him to basically take the best player available to my team. Just my perception. Yeah, and that's I'm never going to be a Sims drafter. I'm going to draft my own way, because I do think, you want your takes in there to an extent. I think build structure is important, and where you're valuing certain positions can be very important. But I do also think mixing it up, like, I'm not going to have many Allen Hurts teams, so let's do that. I'm not going to have many 3 of these tight ends in this pocket. Like, typically if I'm taking 3 tight ends, it's like Kraft and 2 later, like an Ertz Otten or something like that. So I'm definitely not going to have many Saquon Brian Thomas Jr. teams. So I think mixing it up is also very important as well. And I just worry that the Sims will consistently put you in the same range. Fairly sure he's done over 2K last year or something. You can do 2,000 drafts just on weeklies. Yeah. Yes, if you market to casuals, they won't know that. The edge is the elite quarterbacks, in my opinion. I mean, I generally agree. I think there's ways to catch up with 3 mid-tier quarterbacks, just because we see it every year. A couple mid-tier guys become top-tier guys, whether it's like a rookie like Daniels, who's just not, because he's a rookie, he wasn't drafted where his upside could be. But we also saw it with Baker late. Goff was exceptionally good last year. Where do I go here? I'm going to go Miles Sanders. Let them think the Frankenstein monster of T-Law, Rodgers, and Daniel Jones can beat Lamar in a 1-week playoff. Yeah, and that's the tough thing, is when you get to the postseason. Now, what I will say about these, like, particularly the smaller pods, is 1 of 6. There's a real chance you don't have any of those guys in the pot. Like, Josh Allen had 50 points in week 15 last year, and honestly, he wasn't good in week 16, 17, so he wasn't exactly the playoff quarterback you needed. But you had a really real chance of not having Josh Allen in your pod if it's like a 1 of 5, 1 of 6. So there is that aspect to it. And then, in the finals, like, some of the guys who were better early, like Lamar, had 29 points the finals week, and that's why I advanced a number of finals. But that was just above average. You know, that was like quarterback 6. So, you know, it can, and then the other elites last year, like Hurts was injured, Allen not good in the other playoff weeks. And then, you know, even Daniels was one of the best all the way through. And so was actually Goff. Shipley came back, but I'm not going to go there. I'll go Hopkins. We made this bet with Andrew before. Oh no, I didn't get Bateman in this one. That was the last draft. So let's see. I'm at 2,573. One more pick. I will probably lean receiver just because after BTJ, it's a little thinner. Put in Lockett 2-2. Took Ray in the last one. Yeah, Donnie Mitchell, I'm not as keen on, but. And then Elijah Moore. Yeah, I mean, I do take him some with Allen, but don't know if I feel the need for it in this one. The quarterbacks are nice, but Baker, Daniels, Darnold, yeah. Midrange just has so many nice quarterback combos. I have my share of elites too. And I think that's the other thing. Also mixing like an elite with a Drake May, and mixing an elite with a Fields, and even and yes, you can even take a third quarterback with that kind of build. Because like I said, like Allen and Hurts were guys you wanted week 15, but week 16, 17, they just weren't there. You know, I don't know if I go Allen in this build. I think that's probably the best upside play. And he goes, so that makes the decision a bit easier. Wow, Shipley falling. I know there was a report that he's competing with Dylan. I'm going to look for the spike week, and I'll go MVS. So that is my team. We will look at the teams at the end here. Let me catch up with chat. 2 running back, 1 quarterback, 4 wide receiver starts. Yeah. Best Ball guy subscriber. Don't know what that says, but appreciate you. Good seeing you in here. I mean, Baker outscored Allen like 6 weeks last year or more. No, sure. Allen was tough because of the elites. He had the widest range where he'd have like these 12-point weeks and then like 40, 50-point weeks. So even during the regular season, it was good to have, you know, even 2 options with him. Goff was a great pick. Yeah, Goff really outperformed his ADP last year. When 0 RB in the last one, went hyper fragile RB in this one, just what the room gave me. And that's the other thing to do. You have to sometimes go with what the room's doing. I could write a report about Charbs competing with D-Mart. Yeah. All right, let's see how this one finalized. We went over my team pretty well. We'll go over Boston's team. He went 3-6-7-2. Goff, Stroud, Young, Kyron, Cook, Kamara, Bigsby, really strong running back room to start. And Rico and Taj. Love that RB room. And yeah, I mean, start of his receivers are fantastic. Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Olave, Godwin. Did he have Baker? No, but he did double tap Bucks with McMillan, Jalen Noel, Coker. So gained some fun depth pieces at the end there. Then 2 tight ends, Hawk and Ingram. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of McMillan. I get you're probably taking him as an insurance for Godwin, which I understand. I'm just not a huge fan of McMillan with Mbuka there. But overall, the receiver room is exceptionally fine because I'm actually more of a believer in Godwin and, of course, Neighbors and Amon-Ra. And like we were just talking about, you're more likely for your flex to come from the running back, particularly if like Tank Bigsby's the starter. Kamara and Bigsby will be hitting your flex way more than Godwin, way more than any other receivers you're taking. So your running back room is strong. You got 3 stacked quarterbacks, and also some, Goff, probably a top 10 guy. We know Stroud 2 years ago had that upside. Bryce Young finished the year strong. He has some sneaky rushing upside. Among a later quarterback, and you got a little value there. I take plenty of Young as well. And then we got Legion in here. He said he went hyper fragile. So 3-4-9-2. Drake May, Michael Penix, Gino, JT, Hall, Connor, Travion. I see going hyper fragile with 4 in the top 62 picks, and that's also the way to do it. This is one mistake you do see is people go hyper fragile and then have 2 guys on the same buy. So then that week you're down to 2 options. Means they're definitely not hitting the flex, and when you're investing this much in them, you are 100% expecting them to hit your flex most weeks. And they should. If they stay healthy, they're going to. And Adams as your anchor. And then, you went and hammered the middle wide receiver range. Mooney, Bateman, which I think those are both really good picks. Hopefully Hollywood's healthy. I have a good chunk of him. Pat Bryant could be the number 2. Jack Betch could be the number 2. Slayton is probably number 2 there. Roman Wilson could be the number 2 there. So, a lot of upside shots on young guys, or a guy like Slayton who in Hollywood who's probably going underdrafted. And love the tight end room. Bowers, Henry, both part of a stack. That could be a very, very strong tight end room, and won't be surprised if you even get a flex week or 2 there from that group. Because mostly for the receivers, you're hoping Adams is basically every week, Downs a good chunk of weeks, and then most of the time, the other 7 guys are just competing for one spot. Outside of maybe during some of these bye weeks, maybe they need to fill in, but even still, I doubt it. So, no, it's a good build, and Drake, and this is the mid-tier. You get a guy like Drake, he has top 5 potential. Will he get there? Well, we don't know. We'll see. But he definitely has top 5 potential. So that I did a couple drafts with Andrew earlier, did these 2 drafts. So I appreciate everyone for sticking with it, hanging out, talking ball, jumping in these drafts. I will catch up with chat, and then we'll get us out of here. Allen also scored the highest fantasy week in history. Yeah, no, that's and it also shows for something like, say, Sprint, you 100% wanted Allen for that 1 week, but then you wanted him covered the other 2 weeks because he didn't carry you through. But if you had, well, not mine because Hurts got injured as well. But if you had like Allen and another elite last year, or like Allen Daniels, oh my God, you would have killed Sprint last year. But no, Allen, we know he has that upside. And this year, every year we see this. A couple of the elite guys are pretty consistent throughout. Lamar was pretty consistent. Hurts was pretty consistent. But like Allen, Burrow, Daniels even had some down weeks. And I mean where guys finished, not necessarily where elite were taken, but where like the top quarterbacks on the year were. And Lamar and Hurts, until Hurts got injured, were pretty consistent throughout, but everyone else had a few down weeks. And we see this every year. And next year could be Hurts because a couple of years ago it was Hurts, have a couple down weeks, but then elite across the board. And, so it could just be vice versa, but we'll see. That's why I have I showed 10% of each because I want a good chunk of all of them. Eddie saying good night to you. Nonsense Media, and what a fun day drafting. Good. I'm glad you really appreciate you jumping in all these drafts. A lot of fun. Paulino, Night Steve, got the contrarian Burrow stack in the overflow as you were describing, pushing him when in the driver's seat. Nice. I'm glad that worked out for you. Hopefully that turned into a fun draft. And thank you guys again, everyone, for all the chats, all the comments. Appreciate you liking this episode, all the subs, of course. And we'll be back tomorrow with Jeopardy and a sibling showdown combo show. Jeopardy is going to be Neil versus Nez. And then Meg and I are going to do a sibling showdown essentially right after, kind of like this went with Andrew. So check back that on tomorrow. And yeah, hope everyone has a great night. And I will catch you next time.